Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the elimination phase in season 4 of the NRL. I am Flawed Genius Gaming, back again to take you through the next 2 hours of this crucial round of the championship. The anxiety must be going through the roof as this is squeaky bum time for many of the drivers. After watching the conclusion to the divisions in the Friday section, hosted by the brilliant Toon, Slow-Mo and Leo, the drivers from today will know exactly what's at stake and what's required of them, as every position and every point may prove to be vital for their successes. Remembering that it's the top 14 overall on points from both Friday and Saturday combined to determine the grid for the grand finale in just a couple of weeks' time on Saturday, November the 9th. Well, joining me in the excitement for today are two people I'm sure will be desperately trying not to fall off their seats, as I suspect there'll be a lot of movement from them, trying to contain their emotions throughout. It is, of course, the awesome duo of TKs and Tati. TKs, how are you feeling ahead of this crucial round of the NRL today?
Woo. I am feeling good. I am exciting. Last night was awesome. If you guys haven't watched that, go and watch it sometime. Both races came down to the end. We had drag races across the line, and it was awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing that again today.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I suspect today is going to be certainly something very exciting and going to go right down to the wire. But also we have with us the awesome Tati as well. How are you? And have you worked out what you want with your sushi yet?
Doing really, really great. And I have to say that I never try not to fall out of my seat. I simply take the mic with me because I am a professional. I did get sushi. It was not great. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm really excited about tonight. I love it when it comes down to the wire. Of course, we have some people who have clinched it on points, but looking at the scenarios, there are other people who can slide in there for the finals. So tonight absolutely is going to be crucial and exciting for me.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, can't wait for today's races. And before we get into the standings, I've got to point out and say a huge thank you to Boyd Gaming with the $10 donation, saying shout out to all who help put this together. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. Well, we very much appreciate your donation there, Boyd, on behalf of all of NRL. Thank you so much. You're an absolute legend. Okay, so with that said, then let's take you through the situation of this season's story as we delve into the current Division A combined point standings after 2 rounds. TK's has all the info.
Yes, sir, I do. And coming in at first place so far with a total of 66 points, we have Wid. What a commanding lead right there, followed by the True Serum in P2 with 38 points. We got MMR Moose in P3 with 37 points. We got Chief Apollo tied for P3 with 37 points. Then we move down to Talon in P5 with 35 points. Purple Perp in P6 with 33 points. The Kai with 29 points in P7, followed very closely behind by Lisa Salters 420 in P8 with 28 points. Then Velvet Thunder P9 with 27 points. La Cabra P10 with 26 points. PHG Banana 22 points in P11. GLK Sneaky P12 with 21 points. GI Boku in P13 with 18 points. Then we have in P14 MMR Super Uba with 15 points. Then we go down to P15 MK with 14 points. PHG Shaggy Doo in P16 with 13 points. PHG SPC in P17 with 10 points. Belmora in P18 with 9 points. PHG Caper in P19 with 8 points. Ando with 6 points in P20. PDX Varial in P21 with 4 points. Then we have a tie for P21 with Arrow US and Darken Azrael with 4 points. Then another tie for 24th with PHG Jazam with 2 points, and BHR Pelias Pango with 2 points. Then in P26, we have Spawn with 1 point. And then our no points tied for 27th is RWB Nav and Island Grown 777.
And I've just noticed as well that it's updated from yesterday as well. So wasn't expecting that, but yeah, the drivers will know what they need to do in today's races. Tati, can you read us through the combined Division B standings, please?
Cross place with 56 points. It's Stumpy 2016. In second, we got Racer 51 with 48 points. Cyrus Nikki GT in third with 44 points. Parquet in fourth with 33 points. Tied in fourth with Deputy Fishtail also with 33 points. Sixth is Sugar Shuffles with 26 points. And then you've got Lead Pencil with 25 points in seventh. PhD Papa's got 8 points in 20. PhD Papa's in 8th place with 23 points. Numbers. Rowdy Rooster in 9th with 22 points. PhD Bells in 10th with 21 points. Coming in with 20 points, right behind him is his teammate PhD Salamander in 11th. Angry Fredbird in 12th with 18 points. Racercraft 01 has 17 points in 13th. And Jezzer with 16 points in 14th. And okay, good. Not a tie on the second page again like it was last week. We've got Luis in 15th with 15 points. And a three-way tie for 16th with 13 points each. RSR Zilla, RTS Bandit, and PhD Skellington. Redneck C137 comes in 19th with 12 points. Stumpy's got 11 points in 20th. MD Hop in 21st with 8 points. Then a three-way tie between 3 PhD drivers. Horn of Plenty, Captain Thunder, and Fenrir with 6 points each. BHR Johnny Boy in 25th with 1 point. A two-way tie for 26th between RWB Buck Wild and Sweet Lucanus, each with 0 points. And then P. Roswell in 28th with -1 point.
Thank you to both of you. And yeah, I guess it's now time to introduce you to the first of the 2 races this afternoon, the elimination round of Division B. And we are off to Italy for the visit of Lego Maggiore full circuit. Track length is 3.61 miles with a total of 17 turns. They'll be driving a total of 14 laps here ahead of the 10-minute qualifier session in the Porsche 911 GT3 RS 2022 road car. This 4-litre engine car produces a max power of 516 brake horsepower to its rear wheels, being as it's an rear-engined rear-wheel drive car with a weight of 1,450 kilos. Certainly the drivers will need to respect its power to weight distribution, as it could become a little tail happy. But luckily for the drivers, they are helped using the racing tyre compounds, and they have the choice of the racing softs and the racing hards at any point of the race. They'll be greeted with a grid start, full start check with a stock car settings or BOP with the usual mechanical damage set to heavy, and a tyre wear rate at ×4 and a fuel consumption rate at ×2. Points allocation. The points allocation are set to the F1 system, so race winner will receive 25 points, with second getting 18 points, third with 15, fourth with 12, and so forth all the way down to 10th with 1 point. Anything below 10th or DQs will receive no points, with a bonus point added to the driver with the fastest in race lap, as long as they finish inside the top 10. Top 14 drivers overall from both days after round 3 will move on to the grand finale on November the 9th. And now onto the driver lineup for Division B. Now, word of note that 11 drivers will be driving nervously, with the futures still in doubt in qualification for the final. So best of luck to all the drivers. The lineup today is MD Hop 2, Angry Fredbird, Sweet Lucanus, RTS Bandit, P. Roswell, PhD Horn of Plenty, RSR Zilla, Cyrus Nikki GT, Jezza, PhD Lead Pencil, PhD Captain Thunder, BHR Johnny Boy, Parquet, and Racecraft. And if you want to go and check them out, whether it's via YouTube or Twitch, go and give them that support and cheer them on ahead of this final elimination race by hitting the follow button or subscribe button and keeping a tab open for us on the NRL so you don't miss a thing. Okay, right, so this elimination phase, guys, this is gonna get very, very intense. T-Case, what are your thoughts ahead of this elimination race in Division B?
Well, it's all on the line now. This is the last opportunity for those outside the bubble to get some points. Some drivers are going to be safe no matter what happens, but I'm just curious to see how this is going to play out. I think we got a few different strategies and some really fast cars on a really fun track.
Yeah, indeed. And Tati, any thoughts on the car that the driver's going to be using? Have you got any experience in this Porsche 911 2022 road car?
Actually don't, though I've raced friends who were driving it, and it's an absolute beast. I think this is a great combo. The car has DRS, aka drag reduction system, and this is a track with lots and lots of places where that can be used. I'm particularly looking forward to DRS slipstream battles going into Big Banky Boy today.
Yes, indeed. So have we settled on the Big Banky Boy as a name for that corner now?
I believe so, because I've heard it across leagues at this point. So I think that is the accepted name for the corner. I will still sometimes refer to it as best corner in the world.
Yeah, I can agree with that one as well. Yeah, 100%. Yes, so we have got a 10-minute qualifying ahead of this, oh God, I've forgotten where it was, 14-lap race, I think it was. So we are on board with P. Rosal. Now, he is currently last position in the overall standings. He's the only driver to be with negative or minus points. So he really needs to pull it out of the bag and grab, I'd say, probably needs to grab the win if he's got any chance of qualifying for the grand finale in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll see what P. Rosal thinks of the car, but obviously no pressure to him. And but somebody where the pressure is certainly being taken off from this driver is Parquet, who grabbed what did he grabbed a P3 and a P2. So we look on board with Jezza, who's just coming at the end of his outlap right now. Now Jezza, he so far has had a pretty consistent season. He grabbed a P7 in his first race, a P6 in his second race, and has 16 points overall, and is 6th for Saturday, but 9th overall for the Division B. So there's been a bit of a debate in what the actual points tally the drivers need to have by the end of round 3. McNulty says that the magic number is 28 points, which would mean he needs 11 points or a 4th position, or 5th and the fastest lap, whatever way you want to go. Or for me, I reckon 25 points will be enough to go through, but we'll see how he gets on during this race. Of course, we've got 10 drivers looking to do as well as they can do in this race to secure their passage to the grand finale. Well, it looks like Jezza went a little bit wiggly through the S's there. It's very important to get good speed out of the S's to really set you up down the straight ahead of the Big Banky Boy that we discussed earlier. The best corner on any circuit on GT7. So as he approaches, he brakes on the 50-yard board. You can cut a lot of the apex. Try not to run too wide because you've got a gravel trap awaiting you on the exit, and it's about getting a tight line into the first turn of the S's. And yeah, beautifully done by Jezza as we come up to this long right-hand bend. Again, double apexed right-hander. Goes inside to the outside, back to the inside and onto the outside for this left-hander with one turn remaining. This fast, long, medium speeded left-hand bend. Jezza takes that nicely, and then as he comes across the line, he sets a 2-minute 1.024, who is provisionally on pole position, but then replaced by Angry Fredbird and Lead Pencil, who goes on top of the pile with that 1-minute 58.497. So good early pace from Lead Pencil. Angry Fredbird finds himself in P2 as well. So a good lap from him, but Johnny Boy replaces him in P2 with a 1-minute 59.6 as the times come flooding in. Cyrus Nicky only good enough for P4 so far, with Bandit taking the top 5 position. But what are your thoughts so far in this qualifying session, TKs?
Well, we're already seeing a couple drivers going back to the pits for fresh rubber. These softs, when you're pushing it so hard, especially the front tires, do not last well. This track really abuses those front tires, and as they start to wear, the understeer becomes very powerful. And going through these S's, as we watch Bandit go through, you really need all that front end grip. Abuse the track limits as much as you can. This one allows you to really push those track limits and cut a few corners here and there. But watching that tire wear is going to be crucial for them to get faster laps. And I'm expecting, as we already have a driver now, Lead Pencil in the 58s. I'm curious as to how many drivers are able to get into the 158s. I found that very difficult to do when I was doing some testing around here.
Yeah, I think it was Johnny Boy was also in the 58s, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be the top 2. Angry Fredbird, I do believe, was in the 59s. Obviously, Cyrus Nicky also in the 59s, and then Bandit on a 2-minute flat so far. But Tati, do you think that there'll be any drivers that could add to the list to get a sub 2-minute lap time?
Keep their hit their marks, keep it tight, just like Lead Pencil is doing. This is a track where a lot of those corners come out onto an uphill, and so hitting that apex just right so you can maximize the time on the gas is really necessary. If you are going wide in a lot of these corners, then you are going to severely hinder your chances of getting up the hill for that next corner. And also, like TK said, abuse those track limits, eat up all of that curb and some of the inside of the curb. If there's not a sausage curb there, go for it. Sausage curbs are really, really painful here, so obviously don't do that. But even turn 1, you can cut way more than you think. So as long as people keep it tight, those curbs, they'll be fine. They'll get into the sub 2s.
And just to update you as well, it's either Jezza or Jaza, as I just saw one of the comments saying. Someone will eventually get the pronunciation of his name right. I think it's Jaza, but anyways, I digress. We've got Parquet. We're riding on board with Parquet at the moment now. Not so much pressure on Parquet to grab a result. I do believe he has qualified, but he'll be looking to grab as many points still, because depending on the positioning of the league at the end of round 3 will determine the grid place you will start in the finals, as there'll be no qualifying in the finals. So Parquet will be looking to try and get a move on right now, because we've got 2 minutes remaining in qualifying. So there will be this lap and one other lap to go in this qualifying session for the elimination phase for Division B. So we'll see how Parquet gets on, but we know with Parquet, he has finished on podium in the 2 races that he's competed in so far. So can he make it 3 in a row? Let's see. 2-minute 0.4 moves himself up into P8, but he's got one more lap to try to improve on his current best right now, as we see Johnny Boy, who is really looking for a great result in this one. Currently P3 for him, and I do believe with where are we? With Johnny Boy, He has got 1 point to his name, so he will definitely need as many points as possible. This is the best way of going about it. Qualifying P3 will be a good start for him, and we'll see how he gets on during the race. Yeah, if you want to check out Johnny Boy, in fact, he's not on YouTube. That is quite unusual. But he's part of the Beehive Racing team. He's on controller, and as mentioned, he is currently P25 in the championship, and he will need probably first, maybe second position in this race if he's got any chance of qualifying for the final. So yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting, T-Case.
Indeed, yeah, it's going to, some of these drivers are going to need a lot, especially if the bubble ends up being that 25 points. So you're looking at needing to get, you know, a win, top two, maybe the fastest lap if you can manage it, if you want to move on. So we'll see. Their tires are not looking great. There's the understeer as they touch into the gravel a little bit. That front left tire just gets abused here. And I find that after about 5 laps is when you really feel the fall off. Some of these drivers like Cyrus Nicky have opted to put fresh tires on for their final run. So we're seeing a few different strategies here as far as burning fuel, burning up the tires. Do we get fresh tires, or do you just stay out the whole time? And we see Johnny Boy is going for that stay out the whole time.
Yeah.
And Cyrus Nicky in P6 just set purple. He's who I was talking about. He's got half a tank of fuel, very fresh tires, and he's about to wrap up his lap as well. So we might see a change up for pole.
Okay, can we get on board with Cyrus Nicky? There we go. So yeah, just in the final sector then. In fact, he's on the final turn now. So currently P6, but this is a guy that is hard to stop, and he moves up into P3, 1 minute 59.127. So replaces Johnny Boy there into that podium slot for the start of the race here at the Maggiore Full Circuit. Yeah, it does look like that is qualifying over. What are your thoughts, Tati?
Actually, watching Cyrus Nicky's entire lap there, and he did exactly what I was talking about. He kept it tight, kept his lines almost perfect, and on those fresh tires, obviously it gained him 3 positions. I think qualifying was very telling. We're going to see how this race goes.
Yes, indeed we will. So I'm just going to quickly read you through the qualifying standings ahead of this elimination round in Division B. Also, just looking at Moose's comment as well. So it's Jay Senior. Okay, now that does make sense. So it's Lead Pencil on pole position with that 1 minute 58.496. Then Jay Senior in P2 with a 1 minute 59.114. Then Cyrus Nicky gets the top 3 with a 1 minute 59.127. So very close between P2 and 3, with Johnny Boy getting a top 4 position, 1 minute 59.525. Then on the third row in P5, we've got Parquet, who did actually improve there, 1 minute 59.638, who is just 2/1000th of a second quicker than Angry Fredbird in P6 with that 1 minute 59.638. Then P7 went to Bandit with a 2 minute .077. P8 went to PHG Captain Thunder with a 2 minute .138. P9 went to PHG Horn of Plenty with a 2 minute .147. And then at the back of the grid, we're going to have P Russell from P10, 2 minute 3.661. Oh, okay. So that concludes the lineup and the grid order, TKs. But what are you expecting in this elimination round?
I'm very, very curious what we're going to see strategy wise. They have the options of hards and softs. Neither are required, but you have both of them. I've seen people do 2 7-lap stints on the softs and never touch the hards. For me personally, I found that once lap 5 rolled around, I was just having a hard time taking a tight line, especially following somebody. The dirty air is real here. So I'm curious to see if we're going to see just everybody using the softs, or if we're going to see some drivers doing a longer stint on the hards.
Yes, yeah, that could well be the case, T-Case, no pun intended there. And Tati as well, what are your thoughts ahead of this race?
Well, TK, you did some testing. Can you go the whole race on one tank of gas?
Not quite. You do have to do a little bit of a fill up. Maybe a third of a tank, quarter of a tank extra. So I do think everybody's going to have to pit at some point.
Got it.
I think it's more a matter of how they handle their tires, because the softs are definitely quicker. They're a good second, if not more, quicker a lap. But once that fallout off happens around lap 5, you start to see those lap times slow down. So in my testing, I was actually able to get ahead of somebody on worn softs, and I was on not very worn hards. So there's going to be a balancing act of how they can manage their tires and keep in track limits and avoid those barriers.
I don't remember how long this pit lane is, but I think if I had to go with a strategy untested, I would stick to the hards, go in for a splash, and finish out on the softs, because those softs get eaten up so bad here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of dilemmas ahead for the drivers, and certainly, this is going to be very, very interesting. Of course, a lot of emotions and a lot of nerves at stake here as well. So we're hoping for not too many mistakes from the drivers, but as any driver will know, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, and they are just lining up on the grid now. So we're on the first row. We've got Lead Pencil and Jay Senior, P3 and 4, Cyrus Nicky and Johnny Boy on row 2 as the red lights go out, and we start the elimination phase. Oh my God, the mess! There's a big mess in the grid. It looks like somebody didn't get off from the start line. There was a few bumps and crashes in the background. May need to have a look at the replay because I couldn't quite pinpoint who that was there. But Lead Pencil gets a good start ahead of Nicky. It looks like Bandit was the one to really rise up the grid there into P3. Parquet up into P4. Johnny Boy P5. All the Plenty P6. I just wonder if we can get a quick replay on the. Okay, just word from production is that we are going to get a replay on what happened at the start there, because that was an absolute mess.
Jay Senior got the worst of it. Oof.
It looked like Jay Senior had a little bit of a false start there, jumped the gun a little bit, as we're about to see. Yeah, they jumped it and then got stuck behind, and nobody could get out of the way.
I think that was P. Roswell into the back of Angry Fredbird, and I think Jay Senior as well. It does look like we've lost the driver as well. I don't know if that is Jay Senior.
Yep, it is Jay Senior.
Oh no!
Race over.
I wonder if he disconnected before he even got to get on the power at the start of the race. Very, very unfortunate there, and it could be costly for Jay Senior as well, because he wasn't guaranteed a place in the final either. So it does mean that the opportunity is handed for the drivers in this race. We've only got 9 in this race as well. So everyone that finishes this race will be in the points. This is certainly could prove pivotal in the qualification for the final. But we are on board with Cyrus Nicky, who was unaffected from the start there. He's currently P3 with Parquet for close company as well as in P4. We got a gasp in the background. Was that you, Tatty?
It was. I saw 3 wide going into the last corner, but I think they eventually got themselves together.
Right, okay, fair enough. Well, Cyrus Nicky, 1 second penalty, so we'll need to serve that at towards the end of the lap. That does mean Parquet will have a good opportunity to grab that podium spot away from Cyrus Nicky, with Captain Thunder a further 1.2 seconds behind in P5. Cyrus Nicky will come under pressure, but just looking at the tyres at the moment, Parquet is starting on the racing hard tyres. I didn't see through the grid whether or not the top drivers were on the soft tyres, T-Case.
Yeah, so I was actually just looking at that. We have Lead Pencil and Bandit are both on the softs. Then Cyrus and Parquet on the hards. Then we have Captain Thunder, Angry Fredbird, Horn of Plenty are all on the softs. Then Johnny Boy and Johnny Boy on the hards, P. Rosal on the softs. So a good mix. And we also have some drivers with damage because of that incident at the beginning. P. Rosal has damage. Johnny Boy has damage. Angry Fredbird has damage. And it's showing on that long straight as Horn of Plenty just takes P6.
Right, okay. So, yeah, that's really throwing the race on its head, I think, with that. You could call it a foul. Oh, my God. There was a little bit of contact between Horn of Plenty and Angry Fredbird. Looks like they just brushed each other through the S's. Very fortunate not to become something a little bit more serious there, but Horn of Plenty going up the inside of Angry Fredbird as he went a little bit wide on the initial first part of the exit, but Angry Fredbird gets the overspeed on the second part of the exit as we approach the final turn of lap 2. Looks like Angry Fredbird takes a more narrow line into the turn, so Horn of Plenty should close that gap slightly, but looks like Angry Fredbird is going to remain in front of Horn of Plenty as we go into turn 1 of lap 3 with Johnny Boy in close proximity of Horn of Plenty. Looks like he got a good overspeed there as he closes really well on Horn of Plenty. It looks like P. Rosal not too far behind as well, and P9 as well. So yeah, certainly a big battle going on for P6, but of course there is probably 4 drivers with different strategies, different tyres as well, as we see Johnny Boy go a little bit wide on the exit. J-Dog, thank you so much for the $10 US donation. Very kind of you. You're an absolute legend. On behalf of all of NRL, thank you very much. Cyrus Nicky with a half-second penalty from P4 then. Looks like he's got that half-second for cutting track limits, so we'll be serving that penalty very shortly. That means that Captain Thunder should propel himself up into the top 4 then once Cyrus Nicky serves it, which he does now, as we go down the hill for the Banky Boy. So Cyrus Nicky down into P5, and yeah, as we mentioned earlier as well, is that of course Cyrus Nicky is leading the championship, but he'll want to finish as high up as possible to start on pole position for the final in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, still very early in the race. As you see, Angry Fredbird right now with Horn of Plenty on the right hand side? Yes, it is indeed. Makes the move stick, although Angry Fredbird tries the cutback there on the second part of the S's there. Doesn't quite make it work there, Tattoo.
No, not at all. Angry Fredbird has been holding up Horn of Plenty and Johnny Boy for the last 2 laps with all that damage on his car. Horn of Plenty finally makes it around him, but there's a huge gap between himself and Cyrus Nicky in 5th, and Cyrus has been eating up penalties, so to see yourself 4 seconds back is got to be frustrating for them, but he's finally gotten around. Now it's up to Johnny Boy to see if he can do the same thing.
And any updates that we need to know about a T-Case?
Nothing too much. Lead Pencil and Bandit are doing a great job pulling away from Parquet and on the hards, seeing that soft tire advantage, but they got a pretty even gap between the 2 up front. So really the action is where we've been seeing with Horn of Plenty, Johnny Boy, and Angry Fredbird. And then we got a little more action between Parquet, Captain Thunder, and Cyrus Nicky. So we got little clusters of 3 as they work through, and I thought these softs would give the drivers a bit more of an advantage, but we're seeing these hard compound drivers really doing a great job keeping up with them. It's pretty challenging to pass around here, so just seeing that hold on. So I think we're going to start seeing in the next 2 to 3 laps some of these soft tire runners going into the pits, either for another set of softs or a set of hards.
Yes, indeed. And sorry, just looking at chat as well. J-Dog, again, you absolute legend, gifting the 5 McNulty memberships there. Thank you so much, J-Dog. Very kind of you. Absolutely lost for words, and just shows you the awesome and continued support of all the members of the McNulty community, showing the love there. So thank you very much. So yeah, it does look like that could be the case, T-Case, but I would say that there was a few drivers, or a couple of drivers, should I say, that was on the soft tyres with the damage, and that is why they may have been a little bit slower there. Yeah, one thing we can say is Parquet currently doing a great job from P3 on them hard tyres, and yeah, it does look like not too much tyre degradation on the racing hard tyres there, so it could quite possibly be a one-stopper, sorry, a no-stopper if he's able to save enough fuel. But I think, yeah, just looking at his fuel gauge there, he's just got just over half a tank of fuel there, so it does look like he will need to make a stop at some point during the race. But yeah, Parquet doing a fantastic job in this whole season in the NRL. He's had a P3 and a P2. He's got 33 points in total, and he's also third overall in this championship. So looking to grab as many points as possible. Yeah, he's on 33 points. If he gets P3, that will be 14 points, I do believe. So he'll be on 47 points if things remain how they are. But we ride on board with Cyrus Nicky now, because it looks like Cyrus has caught up to the back of Captain Thunder in P4, with Parquet not too far in front as well in P3. As Captain Thunder looks like didn't get the best of S's there. Cyrus Nicky looked like got a lot of speed out of the exit, and now looking to challenge Captain Thunder as we go into this long right-hand bend. And it does look, you can see from the lines that Cyrus Nicky is taking, just maximising the corner speeds as much as possible, as it looks like Captain Thunder is about to dive into the pit lane with the left-hand indicator on, or no, Captain Thunder's just forgotten to turn off the left-hand indicator. So maybe some mind games going on here in the grid. It looks like Captain Thunder goes a little bit wide, a bit deep into the corner. Cyrus Nicky had to take evasive action not to collide with Captain Thunder, and in fact I think there might have been a little bit of contact on the corner afterwards, so Cyrus Nicky does back out for the time being, but you can see that Cyrus Nicky is hounding Captain Thunder like a man possessed right now, and if he can get a good run of Captain Thunder out of this cambered corner, he may set himself up through the S's and down the back straight as we approach the Banky Boy and actually make the over. Oh my God, that I don't normally see anyone try to make the move on the S's, but Cyrus Nicky is trying to make it work for him as we come out the exit there, gets to the back of Captain Thunder. It does look like he had to pull out there. That is a very unusual place to try and make a move stick, but yeah, Captain Thunder under all sorts of pressure now. Can Cyrus Nicky be the latest of the late breakers and steal that P4 position away from Captain Thunder? It looks, oh my God, they're so close. They're so close together, T-Case.
Yeah, they really are, and Captain Thunder's tires are not looking good. He is on the softs. That front left is getting chewed up, and that's what we're seeing. He's having a hard time getting that grip out of the corner. Captain Cyrus Nicky all over the back on those hards that last really, really long time. And we're seeing that tire wear come into play. I imagine Captain Thunder is going to go one more lap, and all they're doing is holding up Cyrus Nicky. So we'll see if Cyrus can keep it clean. I know that's frustrating when you know you have more grip than the driver in front of you, but you just can't find a place to pass. They were looking for some non-traditional spots to try to pass around this track, but it's proving to be very difficult.
And before I come to you, Tassie, it looks like Cyrus Nicky just goes up the inside and does make it stick, as you did mention there, T-Case, that Cyrus Nicky with superior grip life on them racing hard tyres does make the move on what has to be said, very burnt out soft tyres on Captain Thunder. I've got to quickly say a huge thank you to RSR Zilla for the $20 donation. He's just said, had to work today. Good luck, everybody. Of course, Zilla would have been competing in this Division B race today, and it does remain to be seen whether or not Zilla has enough points to qualify for the final. Fingers crossed for you, Zilla, although you probably do know that it's going to be a tall order, I think. But thank you very much. That is so kind of you. And also Arrow GT7 as well with the $25 donation as well, honouring all those who also need 25 points today. Yes, indeed. Yes. good shout there, Arrow. Good shout there. But no, so thank you so much, both of you, for the kind donations. That means a heck of a lot to all of us in NRL and to the drivers that are out there competing as well. Thank you very much, guys. You're absolute legends. But yeah, we ride on board with Lead Pencil currently leading the race right now with a commanding 10-second lead then over Parquet, who finds himself in P2. Lead Pencil, of course, won the first race of the season. Wasn't able to make last week, but he's certainly making amends in this race as he comes in from the race lead on them racing soft tyres after 7 laps with just under 50% of fuel, or 44% of fuel. So we'll see how this strategy works out for him. But he is part of the Papa's House game using a Logitech G29, and yeah, he's currently P3 in the championship. So it does look like he just needs a couple of points to really cement that position in the final. But currently doing very well in P3 right now. Cyrus Nicky, however, moves up into P2, of course, on them racing hard tyres. So certainly in a good position right now. And also as well, something I forgot to note about these Porsche 911 cars is that they have got DRS at their disposal as well. So as soon as they straighten up the wheel, they can press down the DRS button. So I'm not sure how much of an advantage it gives to the drivers, but obviously any advantage does help, of course. But yeah, very good drive so far from Parquet and Cyrus Nicky in P1 and 2 respectively. Lead Pencil currently in the top 3, of course, already taken his pit stop. He's gone on to the racing soft tyres, so he'll be looking to try to make them racing soft tyres last as long as possible, maybe even to the end of the race, Tattoo.
And say, can I get in here because I have something to say about Horn of Plenty. I don't know if we have a replay, but something bad happened to Horn of Plenty, maybe lap 5 or 6, and he ended up 2+ seconds behind Angry Fredbird. They both pitted at the same time. Horn of Plenty either underfueled or forgot to hit the fuel button. He came out with way less than Angry Fredbird. Oh, he must have just underfueled. So he came out ahead of Angry Fredbird despite being back 2 seconds. Now they're both on the softs. Neither has damage, so we should see a good fight until, you know, one of them decides I need to save fuel, and I'll probably be Horn of Plenty.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he's only got just over half a tank of fuel. So, I mean, what do you think would be the better strategy? Do you think it would be to just save fuel, change the fuel mapping, short shift the gears, or would it be better to go in for a splash and dash?
I'm really not sure, honestly. I don't know what he should do. He's far enough from Captain Thunder that he doesn't really stand a chance of catching him, though Captain is on the hards right now. I think he could hold Angry Fredbird up, saving fuel. It is kind of hard to pass here. It's easy to defend, but I don't really know what his strategy should be. I would need an engineer in my ear to tell me what to do.
What about your thoughts, TK? What would you do in that situation?
I think he's going to be okay. We're over half distance. He's got over half a tank of fuel. I think maybe a little bit of short shifting just to be safe. They're on the same compounded tire, so I think a little bit of short shifting, and he's going to be just fine. But we'll find out come the end of this race.
He's just gone purple in the first sector.
Indeed, we will. And just to update you, J-Dog again, certainly making me very busy right now. But it's definitely my pleasure. It comes in with the $5 donation saying just take down the DRS button. Actually, that, not only very kind with the donations, but also giving out some great advice there as well. So
that's right.
Is there anything this guy can't do? I don't know, but indeed, certainly I know my fingers would be very sore, so may have to think about that next time. Lead Pencil currently P3 at the moment then, as we alluded to. He made a reasonably early pit stop there to get onto the racing soft tyres. He's actually gone purple through... Was it? Sorry,
that was for the lap, yeah.
That was for the lap, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry. 1 minute 58.9. Yeah, good spot there, TK. So fastest man on the circuit at the minute, just 1.8 seconds down on the race leader. That is Parquet right now, and he's really starting to home in to Cyrus Nicky in front, just 4.5 tenths up the road from him and down the straight as well, going into the braking zone, 4 tenths up. Purple as well through sector 1. He's on softs, and it does look like Nicky has allowed Lead Pencil through to move up into P2 as we go into the S's now. And Cyrus Nicky on quite worn racing hard tyres, so actually good strategy there from Cyrus Nicky, but it could well be that Parquet and Cyrus Nicky are on the no stopper. Although
Cyrus
looking at
fuel,
probably coming. I just thought that. Yeah. So he will need to come in probably at the end of this lap. Yeah, Parquet also with the flashing red light as well. So does look like they're just going to do probably a 4-lapper on soft tyres by the looks of it. So it does look like then that Lead Pencil is in prime position to grab the victory. Big thank you again to Jimmy Beans for the $10 donation, saying come on Johnny. Yeah, Johnny currently in P6 at the moment, but he may raise up a couple of positions. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see how long the pit lane losses for the drivers here as Parquet comes in from P2 and Cyrus Nicky from P3 respectively, with just 6% of fuel on them racing hard tyres. So we'll see how much fuel they need to put into the tank and see how much they will lose in the pit lane, as we've got Bandit just coming around the final corner now. So he's
on a flyer.
Yes, he's on the flyer, as just said, and leapfrogs Cyrus Nicky, actually just about gets in front of Parquet. Parquet exited the pit lane there. So yeah, Bandit moves up into P2, and we'll see if Bandit can withstand the pressure, because not only has he got Parquet, but he's got Cyrus Nicky for company, Tati.
All on soft. The 2 cars behind him on fresh softs. Of course, they're cold right now, but Bandit pitted sooner, so he got out in front of them on that immense lap. But I don't know if he's gonna last. Obviously, he can hold him back if he wants to, but this is the dogfight. Yes, indeed. And what would be your ploy, TK, in this situation if you were Cyrus Nicky?
Be patient. Be patient. He's on fresh tires. Parquet's in front of him. Let Parquet apply that pressure to Bandit. Let the two of them battle it out, and you just keep yourself in there for the end, because if Parquet starts battling Bandit, that's going to eat up Parquet's tires a good bit, and then you're able to. But if you get that speed, you might need to take the move when you have it, because we'll see how Bandit's able to keep those tires together by the end of the race. But it's going to be tough. But my suggestion would be patient. Hard to do when you're caught up in the moment, but that's what I would do.
Oh, and it looks like Cyrus Nicky not going to be patient and not listening to commentary.
You know,
what do I know?
To be honest, at this track, because dirty air is such a thing, sometimes you got to think about, like, I'm going to eat my tires up if I'm sitting here sliding around behind this guy. Does he need to fuel up? Who is he? Oh, is that okay? That's got to be a mistake. Okay, that's a
Yeah,
bug. But
it does that for some reason in the lobby when you're viewing this. As they come around the final corner, it flashes the fuel thing, but it has nothing to do with their actual fuel load.
heard, got it. But what I was trying to say was that if I'm Cyrus Nikki, patience obviously is a great strategy. Try to see if Parquet can get to Bandit. Doesn't look like he can though. So right now he's just eating up his tires, sliding around in dirty air. I would probably make the move to pass Parquet and handle Bandit myself.
Yeah, and one thing you got to consider as well is the fighting between Parquet and Cyrus Nicky is helping Bandit in P2.
Sure is,
so yeah, certainly if you're going side by side or having to compromise your racing line and your speeds and stuff, that is certainly going to help out Bandit. But to be fair, Bandit's not too far in front of Parquet, so I wonder if Cyrus Nicky has thought this and thinks maybe I should wait for Parquet to make his move on Bandit and then maybe take an opportunity should one present itself.
If we see a bump draft or something,
Yeah. Well, Parquet thought about going up the inside. Bandit covers it off for the time being. Cyrus Nicky cut back. Bandit goes to the gravel as well and moves down 2 positions. It does look like Cyrus Nicky and Parquet are going to be fighting it out for P2. But Parquet for the time being gets in front of, or stays in front of Cyrus Nicky. But Cyrus Nicky certainly now is going to apply that pressure in the final 2 laps of this race. And we've seen it all before, haven't we? The first race, the second race, how close and intense their battles have been. So we'll see if Parquet actually can finish in front of Cyrus Nicky this time, as it does look like Cyrus Nicky lost a little bit of time on the final turn there with a 8, nearly a 9/10 of a second gap between Parquet in P2 and Cyrus Nicky in P3, TKs.
Indeed, and it's going to come down to those mistakes. Whoever makes the least mistakes in these final laps is going to come out better off, because now we're starting to see that tire wear for the people who pitted early come into play. That's what caused Bandit to go wide there, just losing that grip on the front. So excited to see how this plays out between Cyrus and Parquet as they both just continue to push.
Tati, do you think that do you think Cyrus Nicky will get the upper hand over Parquet, or do you think Parquet will actually avenge his last lap where he lost the lead of the race in the go-karts? Do you think Parquet can finish in front of Cyrus Nicky, Tati?
I think he might. I mean, Cyrus Nicky, I feel like possibly has pace over Parquet in a lot of these sectors. However, I'll be honest, it's kind of frustrating watching Cyrus Nicky try to make passes from the back. He chooses some interesting spots. So if Parquet can keep his wits about him and keep, make that Porsche as wide as it possibly can be, I think he can hold on to this.
Yes, indeed. Well, we just witnessed that Cyrus Nicky has just gone purple through sector 2. So I think Cyrus Nicky is biding his time. He's actually gone half a... a nearly big contact with Parquet. Just about applied the brakes in time to avoid a big collision with P2 and 3 respectively. Yeah, he sensed that he was the fastest man on the track right now, and was looking to send one. And I don't know if Parquet got on the brakes a little bit early. I'm not sure if that caught out Cyrus Nicky, but luckily they both live to fight another day, as we've got 1 lap to go in this Division B elimination round. It is Parquet ahead of Cyrus Nicky. Lead Pencil is comfortably in the lead right now with a 17.2 second lead over the fight for P2 right now. We will remain on board for the time being, but we have to also give the hype to Lead Pencil as well, because he has controlled this race from start to finish. But yeah, certainly with half a second between P2 and 3. It's definitely not done in this last lap here, and it's really about if Cyrus Nicky can apply that pressure, force a mistake from Parquet as to whether or not he can steal that P2 away from him as we go into the straight. And this is where the DRS button will be very, very important, I think. We'll see if Cyrus Nicky can close that gap, but don't think it's going to quite work out as we go into Banky Boy now. Where is Lead Pencil? Lead Pencil will be, I think, 2 corners from the end. Just speaking about Lead Pencil then, so he won the first race of the season, missed out. I don't know why he didn't make it for the second race, but then comes back for the third race, and then it's a 100% record. Does it look like Cyrus Nicky was eyeing up an opportunity on the entrance to the corner there, but Lead Pencil is going to get his second win of the season. Congratulations to him. He'll be safely through to the next round. And then we've got Parquet and Cyrus Nicky as we go through the final turn of the race. It does look like Parquet is going to remain in P2, although he's holding up, and he's let Cyrus Nicky through. And so
I think he ran out of fuel. He ran out of fuel.
Oh, okay, and Parquet has run out of fuel, is it?
Yep,
okay.
He ran out of fuel in that final corner. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, what an ending to this elimination race in Division B. So Cyrus Nicky gets the upper hand over Parquet because Parquet didn't have enough fuel in the end. Parquet will have to settle for P3 with Bandit P4, Johnny Boy P5, Captain Thunder P6, Angry Fred Bird in P7, with Paul Plenty just coming around the final turn in P8. What are your thoughts on this race then, Tati?
I was not expecting that. I was not paying attention to his fuel. I'll be honest with you. That's crazy. I feel him though. The last race I was in, I ran out of fuel in the second corner of the Casio Triangle at Suzuka after a tough battle. So I feel it. I feel it.
And your thoughts as well, T-Case?
I mean, good on Lead Pencil. I mean, they just had a nice chill race, dominated. But yeah, I think the patience played out for Cyrus Nicky. They didn't make any stupid mistakes. They almost sent it too soon, but just staying in there, staying in it, worked out for them as they ran out of fuel and just were able to cruise on past.
Indeed. Just reading through then the results and the provisional results, because there could be a few stewards' inquiries after today is done. But one thing we have to say is congratulations to Lead Pencil, who qualified on pole position and led throughout with a very dominant display there. Also with the fastest lap time of a 1 minute 58.920. So he'll grab 26 points from this elimination round, with Cyrus Nicky grabbing that P2 away from Parquet right at the death with, you got to say, commiserations almost to Parquet for P3 running out of fuel in the worst time possible, perhaps. P4 goes to RTS Bandit. Good, solid points for Bandit. That could prove pivotal in his qualification for the next round, with Johnny Boy grabbing P5. We'll see if that is enough points for him too, with Captain Thunder in P6, Angry Fredbird P7, Horn of Plenty P8. Again, I don't know how close it is in the point standing, so again, they can't all go through, unfortunately. P. Rosal P9 for him, and he will grab a couple of points, but he is knocked out of the Season 4 NRL. So of course we'll have all the updated standings after the Division A race, just phenomenal race there, as we've always come to expect from Parquet and Cyrus Nicky. They definitely didn't disappoint there, and I guess we'll get their pretty much now, actually. So we are going to be interviewing Parquet, who is our third place finisher. Parquet, another dramatic end to the race. How are you feeling ahead of getting that P3?
Mixed emotions, definitely. I'm definitely very excited with P3 and bringing that home. But wow, what a heartbreaker at the end, right?
Yeah, it certainly was, Parquet. I was in confusion, really. I didn't know what happened. I didn't realise that you had run out of fuel. When did you actually realise that it was going to be touch and go whether or not you would have enough fuel come the end of the race?
Honestly, as soon as I came out the pits, I kind of got a bit greedy and ended up biting my tongue in the end. Tried to underfuel a little bit and thought I could, do more than I ended up doing in terms of fuel saving.
But you had Cyrus Nicky for company, and he never makes it easy for you.
Absolutely not, man. Oh my goodness. I'm in my chair sweating right now. As soon as I saw his name pop up, I was like, nah, here we go again.
Well, unlucky there, Parquet, but I mean, it's still really, really good points for you, and I know it will secure your passage to the final. So congratulations there. TK's, what were your questions?
Yeah, Parquet, great job. You guys are treating us maybe the best rivalry going on in the NRL right now between you and Cyrus. It's been such a treat to watch very clean racing. Thank you so much and congratulations. I want to hear what went through your head when you saw Bandit run wide out of Big Banky Boy there.
Hallelujah, however you say it. I was not going to lie, that made me very happy to see that. I started P5. I decided to do a long stint on the hards at the beginning. So I was planning to be honestly kind of fighting through a lot of traffic with that. But that was kind of the last car that was in front of me. And it was kind of clean air from there until the end there. So it definitely was, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Awesome, man. Great job.
Appreciate it.
And finally, Tati, any thoughts, any questions?
Park, bro, you all right? You okay?
I'm making it, my heart rate is still in the red for sure, but a couple of beverages and a little chill time on the NRL stream, I'm sure will bring it down a little bit.
Good, because I felt for you in that moment. Losing it, not even in the last corner, but after the last corner is so rough. But you do seem like you're taking it very well. Thank you again for putting on a great show. You did some fantastic racing, great strategy. Literally like half a second more fueling and you would have had it in the bag. That's commendable.
Absolutely. It's all about the show at the end of the day and the good times. So, I appreciate you all putting this on and allowing us the stage to showcase what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, our pleasure is all ours for sure, Parquet. I thoroughly enjoyed watching yourself and certainly Cyrus battle it out throughout this whole championship. That has actually put you on 51 points, which does safely put you through. And we'll see come the end of the broadcast where that puts you for qualification for the final. So do sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the program, and hopefully we will see you next week. Next 2 weeks, isn't it? It's a week break, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Cyrus, great job as always, brother. I'll see y'all soon.
Thank you very much, Parquet. Take care.
See y'all.
And then on to our second place finisher then, Cyrus Nicky GT. Congratulations with that P2. How are your emotions after that intense Division B race? Certainly with Parquet there.
Yes. Hi everyone. Yeah, that was I guess part 2, right?
Yeah.
Rocky 2. No, it was really good. I feel great. Going into this, I was feeling a little under the weather. I was like, you know what? If I finish like top 4, I'll be happy. But again, great job with Lead Pencil. I mean, it was amazing. He just left us in the dust, right? Parquet, amazing. I love battling with him. It's great. Apologies if I bumped you a little bit. I locked up at one point, but I always try to, keep it clean and not touch anyone. But it was a really good race. Really good. Feel good.
Yeah, it certainly was a really great spectacle as always. I was going to ask you actually, Cyrus, so so obviously now I've come to learn that you're, feeling a little bit under the weather. But I just wondered whether or not this is your type of car to drive, because I kind of used to seeing you qualify a lot further up the grid. But even though it was a fantastic, result for you, did you have some difficulties with the car?
Yeah, it's not my favorite. I would say like more like street cars or road cars. I like the high, downforce. I like the faster ones. I used to play a lot of Formula One, so I like the GT2, GT1 cars. So the faster the car, the better I am, I guess, right? So like these cars like this, or like that Mazda Miata, I had a tough time with that in the qualifying. So not my favorite, but it wasn't too bad. Actually, I got to give shout out to one of my buddies, Almost Podium. We did a lot of racing this week and just kind of figuring out what strategy was best. And I didn't have a really good qualifying time. I wasn't able to get into the 158s, but yeah, and I started out I got a couple of penalties that kind of threw me off a little bit, but at the end, it all worked out. So can't complain.
Yeah, it worked out. It certainly did. Excellent P2 for you. TK, any thoughts and questions?
Yeah, Cyrus, great job again. We love watching you and Parquet battle it out. So thank you for treating us to that. So you were saying with your strategy, were you always planning to do long stint on hard and a short stint on the softs, or did your qualifying dictate which strategy you were going to do?
Honestly, I was thinking I'll like make it a game time decision, because I tried all the different scenarios. I did like soft and soft, which for me, like I just like shredded the tires. So I was really debating. It was like a coin flip. I'm like, should I start on the softs and then go to the hards? But I was like, in terms of the standings, I'm like, if I'm going to end up fourth, because I wasn't feeling fully comfortable with this car, that if I put the softs late, I can go for the fastest lap, and that way my points will kind of add up. But obviously, there was a bit of traffic, some battling there, so I wasn't able to get the fastest lap. But in hindsight, I feel like maybe I should have gone to the soft, started with that first, because I had a good launch off the line, and I was right there with lead pencil. But then the penalties, and then it was just like tires were cold in the beginning. So.
Interesting. Well, it's good that you're able to adapt and make these decisions on the fly. Great job.
Thank you.
And finally, Tati as well. Any thoughts to our second place finisher?
Yeah, absolutely. Cyrus, you put on a show once again. A little stendy in some of those corners where I felt like you were trying really, really hard. I want to know, when you had Parquet in front of you, and then, oh my gosh, who was it? It was Bandit in front. You guys came out of the pits and Bandit made it around you. What was going through your mind? Were you just going to sit back and maybe watch them get into it and hopefully you could get through? Or did you want to get in there and, force a move?
I was sitting back a little bit because I knew that Bandit had perhaps started on the softs and then probably was at that time maybe on relatively used hards.
That's right. No, they were used soft.
Yeah, he did soft.
Oh, he did softs. Okay, yeah. So I was like, it was just a matter of time. I was trying to be patient, but at the same time, like I was like, is there a chance to catch lead pencil? But it wasn't. So I tried to be patient, but then there was one moment I think, we just went for it, and I'm thankful it worked out. But yeah, I was trying to time it because I knew, the pit stop is like 17 to 20 seconds, and it was right on that bubble. But I was like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. But it was great racing all around by everyone. So yeah.
Well done. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. Yeah, really excited. Looking forward to the final.
It'll be in 2 weeks' time, actually.
2 weeks,
but I already made that mistake myself, so so that could be forgiven. But congratulations, Cyrus Nicky. Second position. I did actually work out Parquet's points wrong. It was 48 points he's got now. Cyrus Nicky, I've just worked it out that you've got 62 points. We'll see whether or not that is good enough for pole position for the qualification of the final, but certainly do stick around, and after the Division A race, we'll find out all the confirmed standings for that one. But again, put your feet up, and huge congratulations to you. Always a pleasure seeing you race.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Bye now.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
And to our race winner, then we have PHG Lead Pencil. Lead Pencil, how are you feeling after that?
Oh man, I feel pretty good. How are you guys feeling after that?
Emotionally in tatters right now, I have to say.
Oh, no.
A little moist, a little damp in the pits.
Yeah, definitely. I really appreciate my fan on me right now and during the race. Couldn't do it without it. MVP to my fan for today. Blowing that cool air on me.
Well, yeah, Lead Pencil, yeah, it was a dominant display from you. You qualified on pole position. You led from start to finish. Yeah, actually, I worked out as well that you've competed in 2 races. So you've won both of them, which means it's a 100% record in this season's championship. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. I felt like I had a good shot as to winning today. Much more so than the first race. I felt like that race was going to be the first race with the Bugatti was much more up in the air. But I was really glad to get pole, and I wanted to. If I could have known what other people were doing as far as compounds, it would have helped me make a decision probably a little bit better. But I ended up going with the softs. I fiddled with the idea of the hards and no stop because I did try that during practice, and it was actually quicker, at least. But I only had like a small sample size, so I really didn't know if in the end it would be quicker, and what that would do if I was going to end up in traffic too. So, being on pole, I decided I really wanted to just be on softs. Both stints go as fast as I can, so I can stay away from everybody else. And really, it definitely paid off. The key to the softs is saving those tires. So it seems like I was able to do that pretty good. There's certainly a drop off on the 7th lap. You know, it's hard. It wants to be really slidey at that point, but it was a great experience. And I think, if I may, I really thought Cyrus and Parquet were on the. I was pretty sure they were on the hards, and people were telling me from the broadcast that you guys were saying they were on the hards. I thought they were going to go on the hards, no stop. And so when I caught them after I pitted and caught them, I thought, okay, this is going to be a battle to the end. And when they went into the pits, I was shocked. I was totally shocked at that point. But
yeah, it's so obviously, like from a commentary perspective, we haven't got all the data at our disposal. So it looked like the tires could last the whole race, the hards that is. But something we didn't pay attention to was perhaps the fuel levels, and it became quite obvious. More than halfway through the race that they weren't going to have enough fuel. So, slight confusion there. But hey,
definitely you have to actively fuel save. You have to act in order to make it. You definitely have to actively fuel save, which I did, and it could work. It would have been interesting to see if I had done that, if it would have worked as well. I don't know. We'll never know now. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a great job from you. Absolute faultless race, and again, huge congratulations on the race win. Tati, any thoughts from you?
Not a lot. I mean, you were absolutely dominant there, Lead Pencil, and I could see why you would fear those two going on a no stopper. I honestly, I don't think that you can save that much fuel at this track. There's just too many long straights. The longest ones are like very uphill. I think that you were going to be safe, but you just ran away with it. I'll be honest. I didn't watch you much because you didn't fight anyone. Good job. Right. Congratulations coming back and dominating just like you did in race 1. And hopefully we get to see you in the finals.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And lastly, TK, any thoughts for our race winner today?
Yeah, Led, awesome job, man. I know you. I know you're fast. Know you're consistent, and you really showed it here. I don't really have any questions, but I do want to point out for our viewers who maybe have not seen your streams and your videos that you use the chase cam and a wheel, which is not traditional. Most people who are using a wheel are going to use bumper cam or hood cam. So, what is the reason behind the chase cam?
It's a cool question. So I mean, I've been racing games since I was a teenager, back in the old Need for Speed days, like the very first one, the Need for Speed. You know, when you got pulled
Yeah.
over by the cop, when you got pulled over by the cop, and it was actually like live action cop. Like that's what I cut my teeth on, and so since then I've been doing chase cam, or as my coach, Wicked PhD Wicked Quick likes to say, racing from the back bumper. Um, we so I you know, for the more arcadey games, I did that, and I did see that, you know, when I started playing Gran Turismo, I did try the hood and the bumper, and I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not as fast with it. I suppose I could adjust, and maybe you guys don't know this, but out of everything that I do on the YouTube channel and the shorts and the streams, like, this is the most controversial thing out there. Because people, I mean, like, they talk to me like this is morally wrong. Like, I am, and so, I mean, I think it's a matter of preference, eventually I found out that you know, there's some World Tour drivers in Gran Turismo that use chase cam as well. So I feel like I'm in okay company, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
so
good.
it was, but yeah.
No, I was just going to say, good on you for finding what works for you and sticking to it. So many people would feel the pressure to change what they're doing, but in my opinion, in life and video games, is you find what works for you and you do it. So great job.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. And I mean, this race was a lot of fun, honestly. This was really cool. And I mean, I felt like I was fast, but I think, honestly, if I may, real quick, the way the way you handle this car is the key, I think, because yeah, if you were too aggressive, you would shred the tires. The key, you need to get the car straight for two reasons. One is so you don't overcook those front tires. But two, the DRS. The DRS being activated only activates when the car is straight. So when you can maximize the straightness of the car, that's what makes you fast in that car. And I think, honestly, I think that's what made me fast and really contributed to the performance today. So yeah.
Yeah, I just got to second that, Lead Pencil. You know, in terms of the race view that you use, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know,
Oh, yeah.
so
Thanks. I appreciate you. I really appreciate that. I don't always get that from everybody. So chase cam for the win for sure in my book.
yeah, I mean, if the view's available, why not? You know, that they wouldn't give you
Yeah.
the view otherwise, would they? It'll be like I think like iRacing or something where you're just given the cockpit view or something. So
Right, yeah.
yeah, so
But
yeah, go on. Sorry.
big congrats to my fellow racers too. I know I didn't get to see it too much out on track. It was cool to catch up to Cyrus and Parquet, and I'm looking forward to the next race for sure in a couple weeks.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you obviously again maximum points for you. You got the fastest lap as well, so it takes you on to 51 points. We'll see.
51.
Yeah, we'll see where that qualifies for you ahead of the Division B final in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, just relax, celebrate, and then obviously watch out for what you've got in store in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm greatly anticipating after the program's over to see what the next race is. I'm eagerly awaiting. It's going to be cool.
Indeed. It's certainly going to be one to remember. Thank you so much. And again, huge congratulations to you, Lead Pencil. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks to all of you. Thank you so much.
Take care. Okay, right. So again, huge congratulations to the top 3 drivers. And when we do know the grid standings for the top 14, then we can also give congratulations to them. But yeah, certainly the drivers can do no more, and we'll be waiting nervously on whether or not they've done enough to qualify for the grand finale. As mentioned, results will be revealed provisionally after the final elimination for the Saturday Division A, which will be coming up after the break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're fueled up and raring to go, as now it's turn for the Division A drivers to be put through their paces to see who will make the grade and qualify for the last 14 in a couple of weeks' time. So let's take a look at the final race of today for Division A. And we are off to Asia in Japan for the visit of Tokyo Expressway East counterclockwise. Track length is 4.47 miles and with a total of 13 turns. There'll be a 10-minute qualifier ahead of a grid start, full start check and 15 laps around this fast-flowing circuit in Tokyo in the Lexus SC430 GT500 2008 Group 2 car. This 4.5-litre Group 2 car produces a max power of 516 brake horsepower in a front-engined rear-wheel drivetrain. It will be the usual BOP stock configuration with mechanical damage set to heavy, tyre wear rate at ×2 and a fuel consumption rate at ×3, with just racing hard compounds available for the dry weather conditions. However, I've been told to expect some extreme wet weather at times in this race, so inters and wet tyres are also available to use. Tati, can you read us through how the points will be allocated today?
Person winner will get 25 points, second place gets 18th, and third place gets 15th. The points do follow the Formula One model, so fourth will get 12th, then 10th, then 8th, and 6th, on and down by increments of 2 until 10th place gets 1 point. Anything beyond 10th place gets no points. The fastest lap will get you 1 extra point so long as you're in the top 10 and the top 14 Division A drivers overall. After this round, we'll move on to the finals.
Thank you, Tati. And T-Case, can you read us through the drivers in the Division A, please?
Yes, for this race, we have Aero US, PHG Banana, Island Grown 777, PHG SPC, PHG Jazam, Lisa Salters 420, PHG Caper, The Kai, MMR Moose, MMR Supa Uba, GLK Sneaky, GI Boku, Spawn, and Thelmora. And you can see what teams those drivers are with or if they're with free agents. And then we have their YouTube handles there, so go check them out, give them a like, give them a follow there on Twitch, and this is going to be a fun one.
Yes, indeed, this is going to be a fun one, and thank you for reading out all the info for us there, Tati and T-Case. Tati, what are your thoughts ahead of this rain-drenched race in Division A?
This is be crazy. This track, even in the dry, is very fast and the walls are very close. Any mistake, again, even in the dry, usually ends up with a wall tap and a penalty. So in the wet, these guys have to place every single tire perfectly. So this could be anybody's race. It doesn't matter who's fastest. It's really going to be about consistency.
Indeed. And T-Case, do you think this slipstream could play an important factor into this race?
Oh, definitely. We have the longest straight here. It is so long, so the slipstream is going to be crucial, but also the dirty air. So while it's going to help them on that straight, there's a whole snaky section of this track where there's really only one line to go through. These cars rely on heavy downforce. So when you're following closely behind, that downforce goes out the window. And like Tati said, the walls are right there. So it's going to be tough. So while they're going to be able to use the slipstream to their advantage, it's going to hurt them when they get into those S sections.
Yeah, indeed. I have to agree with you there, T-Case. Of course, mechanical damage set to heavy, so walls, they can't use the walls, basically, can they, to their advantage. So people like Moose, for example, that we are literally just about to come on board to now, he has already stated that he hates Tokyo with a passion. Every single time it comes on in the calendar, he's like, nope, I'm not doing it, or definitely down tools, everything when it comes to this location. But Moose is actually currently leading. No, in fact, he's second position overall in this championship. He is leading the Saturday division. He has his own team, Moose Mafia Racing. He uses a Logitech G923. He pretty much is nailed on qualified, but he'll be looking to grab the best position possible to qualify as high up for the Division A final in a couple of weeks. So we'll see how Moose gets on, but as you can see from the footage, that it is pouring down of rain. Moose is on the heavy wet tyres, so we'll see how much that could become a bit of an issue for the drivers, particularly in what is a very, very powerful Group 2 car as well. And let's hope that that pink livery, the what does it say, October Rose can help him there. But what are your thoughts, TK?
Yeah, I see that he is on the heavy wets, and the moisture meter there on the left is kind of right there on the edge between wets and intermediates. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers qualify on the wets, but I'm not sure that's going to be the best tire for the race, as the track has the potential to dry out. So I'm curious to see what drivers choose to start the race on. But Moose is already qualified for the final. His position for the final is yet to be determined. So even though this is a track he hates, at least he knows no matter what happens, he's making it to the finals in 2 weeks.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he's the pressure is certainly off. But we do know, as racing drivers, there's no such thing as backing off and taking it easy. I'm sure, even though he doesn't like this circuit, I'm sure he will want to finish as high up as possible. What are your thoughts, Tessie?
Actually, only have thoughts on liveries in this moment. I'm going to shout out some of the best liveries I'm seeing really quickly. The PHG boys killing it. Banana with this Donkey Kong livery, giving me life. The Kai's livery is freaking awesome as well. Island Grown 777. Sorry, no. Giselle, actually, with this two-sided NRL and Papa's House of Gaming livery, lit. And then SPC, love that Canadian flag tear. And then finally, Caper with the Halloween livery. Yes, loving it. We can talk about racing later.
Well, Moose just coming across the line, just sinks below that 2 minute mark. 1 minute 59.999 into P2. Sneaky up into pole position with a 1 minute 59.623. And we're on board with KD Lakai now, who is looking to do a lot better than his P9 in his last race. Comes across the line with a 2 minute .272. Puts himself into P3. Now, I do think that Kai has already qualified, but again, after a bit of a disappointing showing in round 2, we'll be looking to put that wrong right and finish as high up as possible. The other grid order that we can see right now is Boku is in P4, Felmora up into P5, Banana in P6 with Arrow US in P7, and Juzam in P8 as well. So a bit of a squirrely moment and a bit of a scary moment on the exit of the corner there from Banana. He is part of the Papa House of Game. He's on the controller or a Fanatec DD Pro. I'll be very interested to know what he's using here in what is very, very tricky conditions here in Tokyo. But Banana is 8th overall, 4th for the Saturday division with 22 points. He's grabbed P5 and the P4 so far. Oh my God, they get very, very close between Sneaky and Banana. Sneaky lets Banana through there. I do wonder whether or not Banana has lost a little bit of time prior to that corner there, but currently finds himself P9. Will be looking to try to improve on his previous best there, but yeah, maybe a smart move there from Sneaky. He's currently P1 at the moment. Sorry, Tassie, go.
Nope, nothing. I just literally was whispering Donkey Kong livery. That's it. I'm stuck on liveries.
Fair enough. So yeah, Tassie's just a little bit blinded by the liveries right now. Banana just coming across the line. Sneaky actually propels himself back up into pole position. In fact, he already had pole position, 1 minute 59.623. I think Banana did improve and move up one position up into P8. But yeah, certainly for Sneaky, really needs to really cement his position.
Oh, wow.
In the final, as he goes a little bit sideways, it looked like a little bit of contact between Sneaky and Banana as they both get a little bit wiggly out of the exit, which is not going to be good for their lap, because of course I'm just looking at it now, that corner is the start of the lap, not the end of the lap. So yeah, not a good start for their lap, and we've got 3 minutes remaining in this 10-minute qualifying session as well, so they'll have one more opportunity to go a bit quicker. But Sneaky purple by 0.3 of a second so far, so forget what I'm even saying. It does look like Sneaky and Banana working as a bit of a team, because there was a bit of a boost from Banana there. So yeah, so far so good for Sneaky, and hoping that Banana can be a beneficiary as well in that tow, as we still see Sneaky 0.2 up on his previous best, as we are halfway through the lap now, just about to go around the final turn. It looked like Sneaky went a little bit wide. I don't know if he grazed the wall there or not. It was very, very close, but yeah, we'll see if he can remain on pole position, because he has got a 72 1,000th of a second lead over KD the Kai. It does look like he still remains in purple, with Banana in his slipstream boosting him along, as we see Moose come across the line now. And Moose, can he improve? Yes, he can. He goes. No, sorry, that's Sneaky. Sneaky remains on pole position and beats his previous best by 0.5 of a second, and propels Banana, or briefly propelled Banana up into P2. But Boku moves up into P2 with I didn't see the time he put in there, but I think it was a 59 something there. Uber Beast has got a 1.5 second penalty in P8, and he's. I don't know if he's going to get one more lap out or not, but time is certainly running out for Super Uber, and really needs to make as many positions as possible, because his position is not secured in this championship. And in fact, Super Uber goes back into the pits and will have to start from at least P8 there. Boku up into P2. As mentioned, he is 3/100ths of a second off of Sneaky's time, or just under actually, into P2. Again, one of the drivers that hasn't secured their position into the final right now, goes purple through sector 2 as well. Boku, he is a GOAT instinct driver on the controller, as we alluded to with Boku. He is 11th overall in this championship, and with 18 points, he will need to get a few more points to secure his position. Well, he's definitely going about it the right way, because he is 1.2 seconds up on his previous best, and purple more importantly as well, as we come through the final turn. He's got Filmora for company. He may be able to use Filmora's slipstream down the straight as well, which will gain him that little bit extra speed as we approach the checkered line. He's 1.7 seconds up, as we see an oh my goodness from TK's there. And yeah, as we enter the tunnel section, in fact there's the Kai there in the background as well, which will also aid Boku. Boku comes across the line with a 1 minute 57.426 onto pole position by 1.6 seconds. Yes, Tati, go on.
Sorry, no, I was literally just like 1.6 seconds. That's crazy. I did notice that Sneaky and some other people have decided, hey, I've gotten what I'm going to get, and they've parked the car, and maybe Sneaky wishes he had stayed out a little bit longer there. Yeah. That was insane.
This is the time to put in your lap right here. The track is as dry as it's going to be. It has now moved into that middle 2/3 there as far as the moisture meter goes, and that's exactly how Boku was able to get such a quick lap, because they were taking advantage of a much drier track than what Sneaky and Banana had set their times on.
Right. I wonder if inters will really come alive now. I've seen a mix of inters and full wets in the qualifying session. I guess we're done now, huh?
It does look that way indeed. Yeah, I can't see any more there. So, how do you think qualifying will determine the race results here? Because, yeah, I mean, literally only half the job done. What are your thoughts, TKs?
I think track position is key here. This is there's only one line here, especially as the track starts to dry out. There's really only going to be one line. So starting up at the front is the way to go. We're going to see where that crossover point, if it ever crosses over to switching onto slicks, that'll also play a key factor. But track position, definitely key. And great job to Boku for just absolutely smashing that last lap.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll take you through the qualifying results then. So Boku with that absolutely insane pole position time there, 1 minute 57.426, 1.6 seconds ahead of GLK Sneaky in P2 with that 1 minute 59.078. And then Sneaky's a further half a second up on PHG Banana in P3 with a 1 minute 59.527. Then we got KD Dakai in the top four, 1 minute 59.695. Then Moose in P5 with a 1 minute 59.886. Then we got Felmora, who is definitely one of them drivers that does need to grab points if he is to survive in this season's championship. He's got a P6, 2 minute .211 for him. Lisa Salters down in P7, a bit of a surprise there, 2 minute .296. Then we got PHG SBC in P8 with a 2 minute .492. PHG Caper in P9, 2 minute .677. Then top 10 for Super Uber. Again, like he's very close to qualifying, but not quite there. He's got it all to do from P10 with that 2 minute .724. Then we got Arrow in P11 with a 2 minute .909. Island Grown in P12 with a 2 minute 01.799. P13 is Juzam with a 2 minute .3.473. And then we got Spawn, who didn't qualify. Well, he didn't set a lap, should I say. Starts at the back of the grid from P14. I wonder how that is going to work out for him. Of course, definitely needs the points if he's going to survive. Tati, did I ask you what your thoughts ahead of this race?
Maybe, but I'm always willing to share my thoughts on anything. I think TK's was right about track position being important. On the other hand, though, any mistake can mess up that slipstream line. One person taps a wall, collects everyone behind them, and now you're out of it. We saw really fast people like Lisa Salters end up not qualifying that great due to a mistake. Lisa did hit the walls, end up with a penalty, and quit qualifying. I still think it's anybody's race unless Baku and Sneaky are able to literally run away and not mess up. It's still anybody's race.
Yeah, and just to kind of allude to what you said earlier on, TK's about the starting tyre for the drivers, or whether or not they're going to start on the wets or they're going to be on the inters. It's going to be very interesting to see because, of course, it's going to be soaking wet conditions at the start, but we don't know how long the rain will be in the race and how quickly the track dries out. What do you think would be the optimal tyre to start on, TK's?
Based on what we saw at the end of qualifying, I would say the inters. They do work well in heavy wet, but they really are superior to the extreme wet tires as the track starts to dry. So I think we're going to see everybody on the inters. Maybe if it's a little wet, we'll see some people bump up the traction control. But for me, it's inters all the way.
Well, I guess we're going to find out very, very shortly because it does seem like the drivers are starting to line up onto the grid. Yeah, it's certainly going to be very interesting. And of course, quite a surprising lineup on the grid as well, because we have got on the front row Boku starting from pole position with Sneaky in P2, with Banana on the second row with Kai. Then we got Musa Felmora as the lights go out. And we start the race here at Tokyo East Expressway, counterclockwise for the elimination round. Boku gets an excellent start from P1, but he is going to be a sitting duck down this long straight. He's going to have to defend for his life if he's going to hold off Sneaky in P2 as we get outside and on to the soaking wet track with Sneaky getting the overspeed. Does look like he may grab that P1 away from Boku as we go into the first turn, and Boku has the inside lines. No. Okay, Sneaky getting the overspeed then. Sneaky holds off Boku, in fact, and into the race lead. Boku P2, Banana P3, Kai in P4 with Moose on his outside as well. Moose looking to try and snatch that position away from Katie Kai. Lisa Salters up one position into P6 as well. Filmora down 2 positions into P7. Super Uber up 2 positions from P10 to P8 as well. So it's definitely all kicking off in this first lap of the elimination race here, but it does look like Kai just escaping the clutches of Moose with 1.5 second penalty for Katie Kai. Not 100% sure what happened. I think he may have clattered the wall there. Let's have a look on the replay then. So we're on board with Katie Kai as we go through this short left hand. Oh my god, yeah, big clatter to the wall. Also with front aero damage. I just noticed he's on the intermediate tyres as well. So that risk has definitely not paid off for him, and certainly is going to be a little bit low on speed as he's moved down into P8 after serving that penalty. His pocket goes a little bit sideways on the final turn of the of lap 1 now. Moving down from pole position to P3 with Banana just in front of him in second position. He has got that slipstream though. Banana will propel Boku, and it does look like Boku is going to work with Banana and actually give him the boost that he needs there. So we're trying to keep up with GLK Sneaky as we've got Lisa Salters and Moose side by side. Lisa Salters up into P4 ready then on them wet tyres with Filmora also looking to carve his way through the grid as he gets alongside with Moose, and has got the inside line as well. So if he gets his braking correct into this turn, there's a little bit of contact between Filmora and Moose for P5 and P6 respectively, but we've got quite a few cars around as we go. Squeezed onto the wall. Super Uber there in P6. That should give the chance for Moose to come fighting back there, but I don't think we're going to get 3 side by side going into the corner here. So Super Uber gets away with it for the time being. Filmora in P5, moving up 2 positions from last time we came to him. He's a free agent on the Fanatec DD Pro. Current standings is P18. Definitely needs to get as many points as possible from their, which is still very solid race results from Filmora, but had a P6 and a P9 respectively. But yeah, Super Uber up into P6, Moose 7. Oh, Caper hits the outside wall. 1.5 second penalty and front aero damage. I mean, it's really hard to keep an eye on this at the moment because we've got SBC just behind as well as we look on the replay now. So we've got near enough 2 side by side. It's not the optimal line to go into that turn, and unfortunately understeered wide into the wall, grabs a 1.5 second penalty which he's going to have to serve very shortly, and certainly he's going to lose many position there, Tati.
Yeah, absolutely. This race start has been insane, and already we are seeing that slipstream line start to break up as people make mistakes and slow down the people behind them rather. At the beginning, Jazam false started and immediately was 2.6 seconds back, and now he is 12.7. It's been all over the place at this start. We're only on lap 2.
Only lap 2. Long way to go. TK, so what are your thoughts in this early part of the race so far?
Yeah, absolutely what Tati was saying. I also think Boku really needs to get ahead of Banana. Banana is on the full wets. Boku's on the intermediates. Boku showed the pace that they have, and while they're trying to work together with the slipstream, I think Sneaky's just going to continue to run away on the intermediates as well, as the track hasn't quite gotten up into that top 2/3 unless you get really far off the racing line. So curious to see what advantage Sneaky's going to have over the rest of the field out there in the clean air.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's certainly fast and frantic right now. We have got Caden Kai, who we didn't expect to be so far down the grid in P11 with Paper as well. Another driver we didn't expect to see towards the back of the grid in P12. We're on board with Arrow US, who currently holds that top 10 position. He does need to do better than hit the wall there. And oh no, he's got front aero damage and a 1.5 second penalty to boot, as well as he moves down 2 positions with Paper going around the outside into P11. Sneaky looked like just slightly grazed the wall on the exit there, but currently holds an excellent P2 just behind Banana, who is currently leading the race on lap 3. And then we've got Boku in close proximity, so definitely a bit of a train of the top 3 drivers, as we got Sneaky bump drafting Banana, trying to pull away from the drivers behind and make it a 3-horse race here in the final elimination race in Division A at Tokyo East counterclockwise. And yeah, it's certainly looking like the race plan is going well for the top 3 drivers as we go into the first turn. There was a little bit of a boost for Sneaky, which it almost looked like as if Banana got late on the brakes there, but just about managed to get the car stopped in time as he goes a little bit wiggly out of the exit there. It does very, very well to keep hold of that Lexus, that is for certain, as they go purple. And then we got Boku and Lisa side by side as we go into the turn, and Lisa on the outside. That'll turn into the inside line for this corner. Both of them giving great respect between each other. Boku holds off Lisa Saltis for the time being and claims that last step on the podium for the time being. We've got Moose down in P6, just behind his teammate Super Uber, who currently holds P5, and Formora in close proximity of Moose as well. They will definitely need to work together and try to catch up with the grid in front. But just talking about Super Uber then, so Super Uber I think is currently on I think it was 13th overall going into this race, as we got Moose and Filmora side by side. Again, good respect between the 2 drivers. Does look like Moose is going to have the upper hand as we go into the braking zone, into the turn as well. Moose, sweeps on by into P6 ahead of Filmora, but again, the slipstream so important in this race. Filmora definitely have that slipstream. It does look like SPC not quite in that slipstream range, unfortunately. We'll need his fellow compatriot in Island Grown to work with him to try to push for the drivers in front of him. But yeah, certainly very interesting start to this race, TK. It's very hard to predict what is going to happen, but a few drivers are also getting a little bit caught out hitting the walls there.
Indeed. Yeah, the wall penalties are proving to be a real obstacle, as the penalties served on the big straight. So you lose more time than what the penalty actually is. And I mean, Banana, Sneaky, Lisa Salters proving me wrong on those wets. Lisa Salters with the fastest lap on the wets, Sneaky on the wets, Banana on the wets, and Island Grown keeping it together on the wets, and no traction control. Good save by them.
Yes, indeed. We heard a gasp. Was that on Island Grown? Was that Tati or something else?
Island Grown, yep.
Yeah.
Right.
That back end stepping out like that. That's scary. That's so easy
Way
to
out.
just go right into the wall.
Yeah.
Well, 2 people that are currently having the time of their lives is Banana leading the race ahead of Sneaky in P2. Oh, Banana didn't get the best of Exis as Sneaky goes up the inside sneakily into the lead. So maybe a slight commentator's curse there, but Banana didn't pick up any damage. It was just a slight mistake there. And oh my god, they were side by side. Looked like a tiny bit of contact there as Sneaky went sideways, just about managed to regather the momentum there and not pick up any damage. But that was certainly very, very close. And a battle that I've certainly not really kept an eye on is between Boku and Lisa Salters. Lisa Salters currently the fastest driver on circuit as well, with that 1 minute 58.951. They're both working as a team to try and catch up with the top two. So certainly they could make it a 4-horse race for the race win, as we are just on lap 6 of 15. Actually, Lisa Salters thinking enough is enough, and comes out the slipstream up the inside of Boku to claim a P3. But yeah, it does look like there is a 2.5 second gap between Lisa Salters and the top two in PHG Banana, so they won't want to battle too much, I don't think, Tati.
Fighting is definitely going to slow you down here, and given how narrow it is in some of the parts of the track, you're definitely going to slow yourself down if you tap into each other. I do want to shout out the battle for P5 here. Supa Uba, Moose, and Felmora are having the time of their lives back behind this these battles for P1 and battles for P3.
Yeah, indeed, and points means prizes as well, and this is certainly very vital for the drivers here. Super Uber currently right now is on 15 points in 7th for the Saturdays, and I think he was 13th overall. If he was to remain in P5, that would grab him 10 points. It's hit or miss whether or not that qualifies him into the final there. So yeah, he certainly will not want to finish any further back. Moose, of course, already qualified, perhaps already knows this as well, but perhaps he'll be trying to work with his teammate and make sure that his teammate does qualify for the final. Femora, on the other hand, though, currently on 9 points, 16th overall, needs to try to leapfrog the two drivers in front of him if he's got any chance of qualifying for the final, as we look on board with Boku, who is another driver that hasn't secured his points thus far, but going about it the right way, just behind Lisa Salters in P4. And now we have got a 4-horse battle for the race lead now, and this is where things are definitely going to become interesting, as it looks like Sneaky went a little bit deep. Banana on the inside, I don't know if he's going to have the speed. He goes a bit sideways as well, and Lisa Salters will now chase down Banana and perhaps take that P2 away from Banana. We'll see what happens here, but of course they don't want to be battling too much because they don't want Sneaky to be pulling away from the drivers just behind. So it looks like Banana just remaining in P2 for the time being. Lisa Salters holding on to P3 and Boku in P4. So we are currently roughly about halfway through the race right now. Track conditions right now, it looks like it is still pretty wet out there, getting into the sort of intermediate window, and
Starting to dry out.
It is starting to dry out, as Tessie just said there. So the drivers that are on the wet tyres, perhaps not going to be have the optimal speed and the optimal time in them tyres. So certainly anyone that's on the intermediate tyres will then have the advantage at this stage of the race. But I think, yeah, it's Boku. Boku's got the intermediates here, so he should be a bit more comfortable compared to the top three, who I think they're all on wets, are they, T-Case?
Yeah, the top three are on the wets and Boku on the intermediates, and we're starting to see a dry line appear right there on that straight. You can see the moisture meter on the left going down to that bottom third, which is when you start to enter into the slick. So if Boku can just stay in their slipstream, I think they're going to have a good opportunity in the next couple of laps to make a move as their tire advantage comes into play.
I want to Sneaky here because we saw him go wide into this hairpin. I think he's maybe just found that it's a little drier there, because I've seen him do it more than once. Here he is again.
Oh, contact!
Oh, never mind. And the commentator's curse. Big contact.
Wow.
Commentator's curse is fully alive and Sneaky. Yeah, you
were 100% right.
Yeah. But yeah, on board with the replay of Sneaky, then goes a bit deep, and then there was a bit of a tangle between him and Banana, and unfortunately that tap there made Sneaky slip out and lose control of his car, and he's moved down 7 positions into P7 now, and costly tangle there. Banana lucky to survive, really. Has the race lead with Boku with front aero damage in P2.
You say that intermediate advantage gone for Boku with that damage.
But interestingly, there's a 3-second gap between Boku and Lisa Salters. So Lisa Salters actually losing out there as well. In fact, Super Uber's now caught up to the back of Lisa Salters. So we're not 100% sure what happened there. Perhaps Lisa Salters also got caught out in the background. But luckily for Lisa, no front aero damage or any damage to be concerned of, but Super Uber on the intermediate tyres now in P4 has closed that gap, and it'll be interesting to see what the plan is for Super Uber, as we see three people coming to the pits now. Banana, Boku and Lisa Salters on wets intermediates, and wets as Banana. Yes, so it's it looks like early pit stops for drivers now feeling a little bit more confident to get on the slick tyres. This is where things really do get interesting, because the drivers do now need to follow the dry line and not get on the wets at all. And I mean, at this stage of the race, TKs, you're pretty much treading on half the width of the racetrack.
Less than that. You're looking at a sliver. You're looking at a sliver of this track. I did some practice here, and I watched some drivers switch early around this point, and I watched all of them take a step wrong and go into the wall. So these drivers are much more skilled than I am, so kudos to them for being this brave. You do have to take chances here, especially with Sneaky having fallen back. He's got to do everything he can to get back up. But again, you look at that moisture meter, it is in the bottom third. As long as you stay on that racing line, you're going to be okay. But once you start battling, where are you going to go? How are you going to pass somebody when there's only one line? So it's an interesting gamble, and we'll see how it pays off.
Yeah, Dade, and to be honest, I'm just looking at the gaps between the drivers. So initially we said that Sneaky was the one that lost out drastically, but actually Sneaky now, Banana with a 4.5 second penalty, and Sneaky...
I think a pit lane and a wall tap.
Yeah.
3 seconds and then 1.5, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the point I was alluding to as well, is if you come off the dry line and onto the wet line on them slick tyres, it's like driving on ice. There is literally no grip whatsoever. And Banana, that is going to cost him severely as he serves that 4.5 second penalty, moves down into P9 now, and out of that slipstream as well, and it's going to be a very, very lonely race in the final 5 laps of this race. We're on board with Lisa Salters, who is certainly having a better race at the minute. You got to be careful on overtake here, but for the time being, it looks like Lisa Salters is okay and actually gets better traction out the exit than Boku, and moves up into P3. Boku down into P4, and actually Lisa Salters is the fastest driver on the circuit. Goes purple through the first sector, although Kai has set the fastest lap time of a 1 minute 59.922. So certainly the track is evolving right now, and the slicks are certainly a lot faster than the wet tyres. Super Uber currently leads the pile, though, ahead of Moose, with Lisa Salters, I think, is the leader of the slick runners, I do believe. But yeah, it looks like they're the only 2 drivers that are still on wet tyres, because we have got Caden Kai currently P8, not having the best of races, but has already qualified, I think. And you got Corn's on the wet still.
I believe so.
Right, okay. We've got 2 side by side between Filmora and PHG SPC. I mean, that is very, very risky. Very lucky that SBC, for example, oh yeah, SBC loses that traction, being on the outside, and loses the position to the Kai. Then this is what I was alluding to. There was only one line going into the corner, so going side by side is certainly not the optimal line when you've still got a pretty damp circuit on the outside. Caden the Kai now looking to sweep up and use that slipstream over Filmora, and went side by side with Filmora up into P6. Filmora will have that slipstream down the half of the straight, so we'll see if Filmora comes fighting back. Literally tied to the back of Kai right now. Kai is not going to make it easy for him, and as I said, you can see the wet line on the outside. You really don't want to sink your tyres on that, so Filmora backs out for the time being and will remain in P7. Sneaky goes wide, gets on the wet stuff, slides out into the barrier, and he's lost 2 positions from P5, and surely that is going to be costly for Sneaky. Grabs a 1.5 second penalty to boot as we look on board the replay, see exactly what happened there as we went through the hairpin. So gets hard on the brakes. And is it on the power? It's on the power. Sinks tyre, in fact, he goes wide, tries to get back on the power, and then spins the rears up. And, that is put him in a very precarious position in P9 for the race. So it is Super Uber and Moose that are leading. They are both still on the intermediate tyres on lap 11. They've got a bit of a lead right now, although Super Uber with a 1.5 second penalty, just serving the penalty now. Moose will go into the race lead, but for how long though? Because the gap is roughly 15 seconds between Moose in P1 and Lisa Salters in P3, who is the first in the slick runners territory. So we'll see how much of an advantage these slick tyres are over these wet tyres in the remaining 4 laps of this race. But certainly Lisa Salters and Boku really trying to work as hard as possible to try to close that gap up, as it looks like Boku sets a purple lap time with a 1 minute 50.811. To be honest, TK, it'll be interesting to know what sort of lap times the wet runners of Moose and Super Uber are setting right now.
Yeah, because, I mean, we have 4 laps. They're 12 seconds, just under 13 seconds behind. I think Moose and Super Uber are staying out. I think they're doing a nose-stopper.
Yes, we have a
Lisa and Boku are going to have to work together if they want to close down. I mean, they've almost eaten out a second of them just in this section of the racetrack. So it's definitely doable, but they cannot make a single mistake if they want to catch Moose and Super Uba on the intermediates.
We actually have a surprising number of drivers still on the inters, and I can see them trying to get into puddles to cool them down because they're wearing down. But it's not just Moose and Super Uba. It's Caper, it's Shazam, it's Island Grown. I think Arrow is still on the inters. Yeah, it's a lot. I think Spawn's about to quit this race, by the way. Just picked up a 3-second penalty. He stopped on the track. Yep, he's out of there.
Oh, God. Well, our... Oh, okay. Sorry, Tati, I had no idea that you was in the lobby there, so my apologies. Filmora just going a bit deep. Oh, that was so close. I thought he was going to clatter the wall there. Kai backed off, but I really thought Filmora was going to become a cropper and the latest victim of hitting the wall and the wet line there, but survives to live another day. So, Tati, what is the lap differences then between the slick runners and the intermediate runners then?
Well, pretty well up to the 53s. Last 2 laps were both 53.9s, which are actually an entire second slower than the lap before, the last 2 laps before that. So I think those inters wearing is really hurting him, and he's got front damage now as well. So we'll see what the next lap does. Boku and Lethal Salters are much closer to Super Uba, 4.8 seconds for them, and they're in the minute 50. So it's a huge difference per lap for these guys. There's not a lot of time left in the race and not a lot of places to pass if you're still on the slicks. It's still pretty wet outside of the dry line, but I think Moose might be safe.
If the maths are correct, it's going to come down to that final lap, because if they're doing 3 seconds quicker a lap, but also the inners are getting slower and slower. It's going to come down to that final lap slipstream, and if Boku and Lisa can work together, they're definitely going to catch Super Uba. But Moose, yeah, like Tati said, Moose might be safe. He can't put a foot wrong.
He can't. It's 9 seconds between Boku and Moose. And I was wrong. Moose isn't the one with damage. It's Super Uba. So I think he definitely will get caught by Boku and Lisa.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be very tight, isn't it? I mean, I think, yeah, Super Uber, I think, definitely will be a sitting duck here. I know that Lisa and Boku will be still playing as a team here, boosting each other, or Lisa boosting Boku and using that slipstream and getting that extra, 10 miles per hour difference down the straights, I think. And yeah, it does look like it was 2.5 seconds, the gap between Boku and Super Uber before we got on the straight. So I'd imagine that is coming tumbling down, as it looks like Lisa Salters is actually going up the inside now of Boku and getting into the braking zone. It looks like Lisa Salters has made that stick. And there's Super Uber now, just on the exit, trying to use that. Oh my God, wet line as Lisa Salters went a little bit wiggly out of the entrance to the corner as they're going to go side by side. Boku and Lisa Salters fighting it out for that P3. Looks like Boku has made that stick and move up into P3, but the eye on the prize, of course, is Super Uber in P2, who is currently just half a second in front. Surely Boku is going to dive past Super. Oh my God, there was a little bit of contact, wasn't there? There was a tiny bit of contact, and Super Uber with a 1.5 second penalty as both of them goes around the inside and outside of Super Uber. Super Uber down the middle had nowhere to go, literally, and somehow they made that work without touching the walls and collecting damage there. Yeah, Lisa Salters up into P2, Boku into P3, Super Uber now P4 with a 1.5 second penalty. So it does look like he's out the fight for the time being. There is a 7-second gap as we look at the replay there. Quite astonishing stuff there. I don't know how Lisa and Boku managed to achieve such a feat of getting around cleanly and not either taking each other out or getting damage from hitting the walls on the outside. But yeah, Lisa Salters P2 at the moment. Not too much fuel left in the tank, it seems, with Boku just behind in P3. There is a 6-second gap between Moose and Lisa Salters for P1 and P2 respectively as we start the final lap of the race. Can Moose hold on to the race lead and grab a vital victory in a circuit and a location that apparently he hates? As we go into the first turn, we've got Lisa Salters just holding off Boku for the time being. You can see that the gap is visually coming down because it is down to about 5 seconds now as we exit the first turn. So this is certainly going to be very, very tight as we come across the checkered line in a couple of minutes' time. But so far, Moose in prime position to grab the race victory in round 3 of the Division A at Tokyo Expressway counterclockwise circuit. And yeah, it does look like Lisa Salters has got the upper hand as we go through the technical section of the lap here at Tokyo.
I think they're going to catch him. If you look on the map in the top right corner, Moose is getting closer. Oh my goodness, there they are.
So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's down to 2 seconds now and closing dearly. 1.5 seconds would be the optimal window to get that slipstream. And yeah, with one corner remaining, we'll see how much time they gain. I feel like Moose, if he can hold on to it, could be in prime position here. It's 1.2 seconds to go.
Look at his fuel.
Oh, and yeah, good point there, TK's good point. Yeah, lack of fuel might be fuel saving and chopping and changing the fuel map as he goes down the straight, but the gap is still 1 second. He's
got to break the toe.
Yeah, he's got to break the toe, and we're just about to come across the line for Moose to grab the race victory by 0.8 of a second over Lisa Salters and Boku in P3. And I was just about to say that perhaps Lisa and Boku were trying to manage their fuel as well, with Kai just coming across the line to grab P4 and Super Uber in P5, with Famora grabbing P6. Yeah, that was very close at the end there, guys, and didn't know how to call it. SPC just coming across the line with that P7, but what are your thoughts there, T-Case?
Oh, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm on the edge of my seat. That was fantastic. Moose. Oh my gosh. Wow. Perfection. Couldn't have done perfect.
Yep.
Well done.
Indeed, and top 10 for Ireland Grown then. It's not going to be enough, but he gets a point. And yeah, Jazam, who is that?
Sneaky. That's Sneaky. He slammed into the wall at the last, in the pit wall. He just slammed into it, lost the position.
I think he was going for a nice stylish finish.
I think so.
That was, I think he said, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, man.
Well, so guys, this is a bit controversial, but Sneaky, I do think that he needed points because he had 21 points going into this race. We all said that 28 was the magic number. 25 I thought might be enough, but he's got 21 points and he picks up no points in this race. Is that going to be enough for him to get into the final? This is the question.
I don't think so. Well, maybe had he finished, he wouldn't have still had enough points. So maybe he had already done the math and figured out that he could get a little screen time by smashing right into the barriers there at the end.
Well, certainly he'll get screen time, but is that the last time we're going to see him on the screens, though? That is the question. But I guess we will find out in due course. But I do need to read out the results from round 3 at Division A on Tokyo Expressway counterclockwise. Moose, well, he said he hated the circuit, but he grabs his second race victory of the season ahead of Lisa Salters by 0.8 of a second in P2, with P3 going to Boku and surely securing that passage into the final. P4 goes to KD the Kai. P5 goes to Super Uber, which again I think might just about have done enough to secure his passage into the final. We'll see. P6 goes to Filmora. P7 goes to PHG SPC. PHG Caper grabs P8. P9 goes to PHG Banana. P10 goes to Ireland Grown, his first point of the season. P11 goes to Jazam, with P12 going to Sneaky, and P13 going to Arrow and Spawn, rounding up the grid in P14. Second position, Lisa actually got the fastest lap as well, so an extra point goes to Lisa Salters there. Absolute phenomenal end to the Division A race there. Tati, did I get your thoughts?
No, not yet. Man, what a crazy race. We called it, didn't we? Like it was anybody's race. Mistakes and wall taps, penalties cost our two favored racers coming after qualifying. Sneaky and Banana, both of them, I believe, out of the points, if I'm not mistaken. And then people who, Lisa was all the way in 7th when we finished qualifying. And I'm sorry, Banana did get a point. My bad, Banana. My bad. But man.
Well said.
Yes, thank you. Very eloquent.
Yeah, I mean, we're all a little bit speechless, and also as well, we don't know how that ties up with the point standings as well, because there was a whole kind of confusion on what exact points we need. But we'll find out a little bit later on, because we're going to go into the top 3 interviews. Firstly, who we got Boku, who finished in P3. Boku, congratulations on that P3. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I gotta take the result and be happy about it.
Yeah, indeed. I think that qualifies you into the final for Division A in a couple of weeks' time. What was your strategy going into this race?
It was changing all week, doing all the testing by myself. I really wasn't sure if wets will be faster, and then pit to hards. It's different every time you run the lobby, so I didn't know what to expect. I knew inters were faster halfway through, so I was talking about staying out and then I ended up abandoning it because it seemed a little lighter than what I was practicing on. But I think I made the right call.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, it was a great performance from you. TK, any thoughts, questions?
Yeah, Boku, that was fantastic. Great job. Gave us a really exciting finish, and you qualified so well. I'm curious what your thoughts were as you were always going to start on the inters, and did you have an idea that the other drivers around you were actually on the full wets?
Yeah, so from seeing everybody pick wets in the quali, I had a feeling that a lot of people were going to start the race on the wets, but I always knew I was going to pick the inters. I just knew that after the first 2 slots of RO8 that it was going to calm down and the inters would become the fastest tire, so I was always planning on that. It was just a matter of what those 2 random slots brought, and if it would have been faster to stay out or pit for hards was always going to be a that moment judgment.
Awesome, man. Well, great job. Way to stick to your strategy and be adaptable out there.
Thanks, man.
And finally, Tati, what are your thoughts to Boku, our third place finisher?
Baku, watching you and Lisa run to try and chase down Super Uba and Moose was amazing. I mean, you guys worked really well together. When you first switched to the hards, was it a little sketchy? I mean, I couldn't tell. I don't remember how early you switched to them, but it felt like some people switched pretty early. Were you okay? I think you did okay, but you tell me.
I actually got damage on my in lap. I was gonna stay out for 1 more on the inters and then pit, but that whole, I think, sneaky lost grip coming out of T1, and Lisa slowed up, and I tried to get around the outside of her real fast, but I clipped her. So I got front damage from that, and then it was like, okay, I'm pitting, going on the hards. The 3 seconds of damage put Lisa right behind me, even though I had a seconds gap. So that threw a big wrench in my pace. But I was scared when I seen Sneaky spin on turn 3, I think it was, right after we switched. I started to hold back, and Lisa caught me, and then I just didn't work well enough with her. I should have stayed behind her that entire time, and we would have caught Moose. But we traded positions, I think, 4 or 5 times, and that was really my biggest mistake, was not just letting Lisa go and staying with her, and we both would have been right there for that on that last lap. But I got to take the P3.
You can't complain about P3. You did really well. We'll see you in the finals, I think. I hope.
Yeah,
oh, yeah. I'll be there.
Okay.
He will be there. He will be there. Yeah, just working out the points here. So that will mean you've got 33 points going in. So that will definitely qualify you to the finals, but we'll see where that starts you in the race, because of course we don't have qualifying in the final. So wherever you're positioned in the standings will be where you start in the final. So congratulations to you, Boku. Great performance from you. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Boku. Take care. And then on to our second place finisher, we have Lisa Salters. Congratulations on P2. Great performance. How are you feeling after that?
A little damp.
Dab?
Your moisture meter is pretty high.
No moisture meter.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty happy with the result. It's always fun, when it comes down to literally a second and 3 cars at the end. So, yeah, if I would have qualified a little bit better, I think maybe would have got it done, but had to be patient and just kind of work through traffic. And oh boy, there was some traffic.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Lisa, was you surprised that Uber and Moose ran the wet tires to the end, or do you think that could have been a big possibility?
It was definitely close. It really depended on how quickly that rain started to move out, and if you got to one of like the lighter or the green color, and then you kind of got another patch of some little storms, that could be enough to switch the strat either way, I felt. So once I saw that kind of happen in quali, I was like, okay, we're gonna go wets to hards.
Yeah, well, it was a gamble that paid off for you. It was a little unfortunate that you didn't catch up with Moose. It was so close, though, I have to say. But yeah, great performance from you, Lisa. Had us on the edge of our seats there. So you definitely booked your place into the finals, that's for sure. Tassie, have you got any thoughts and questions for our second place finisher?
Where did Lisa Salters come from? What's that mean? Have we already asked that?
I think we asked a couple of races ago.
yes.
But...
Yeah.
I missed it.
Refresh our
No,
memories.
I'm not that creative with usernames, so sometimes I'll just literally look around the room, and that's who happened to be on the TV at the time. So there you go. There's the Lisa lore.
Thank you for letting me know. I do want to congratulate you on a great race. I mean, even from the start, you went from P7 to P4 in like a couple of corners, it seems. So well done to keep it together. You had a couple of moments and incidents with people, but you kept your head down and got yourself up into the podium. Way to go.
Thank you.
And lastly, T-Case, what are your thoughts and questions to Lisa Salters?
Yes, Lisa Salters, great job. Congratulations. You did fantastic. You probably had the best view of what happened with Sneaky as you really had to get hard on the brakes to try to avoid any contact. Can you kind of talk us through what happened there as Sneaky went wide and there was some contact in front of you and you were able to take advantage?
Yeah, so I think there was the turn one incident where I think he just V'd his line a little too much, and so he got into the wet part. And then as he was coming back out of it, he kind of oversteered a little bit, and there was another car, I believe, on the inside of him, and I was kind of just taking the normal line around the outside, and before I knew it, I had a car kind of sitting halfway in front of me sideways. So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of places to go, unfortunately. So I kind of went to the left and made some room.
Well, you did a great job avoiding that and really capitalizing on other people's mistakes and just doing a solid race. Great job and congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks for commentating.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely welcome, Lisa, and thanks for bringing the drama as you always do. Yeah, you have finished on 47 points, I do believe, so easily secured your passage into the final. It just remains to be seen where you do qualify for the final, but amazing job from you throughout these three races, and go and celebrate and obviously stay around as well, because obviously we're going to find out not only your positioning but what race you'll be faced with in 2 weeks' time.
Definitely hope to be talking to you guys again in 2 weeks' time.
I hope so too.
All right.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Take care of yourself. And then on to our race winner, somebody who said he hates Tokyo, but surely he must be absolutely ecstatic, and maybe he may change his mind about Tokyo. What are your thoughts, Moose?
So,
Definitely still hate Tokyo.
nah,
That
nah.
ain't changed.
Mm-mm.
But
We don't believe
definitely
you.
excited about this race win. I struggled all week long, but I just kept saying, anything can happen with the rain, and even my pace really didn't change because what I qualified fifth, I think it was. That was the fastest lap I had qualified in all week. So that was really where I was. I was really fifth or sixth when it came down to just pace of everybody.
Well, I've tried to say to you in the past, Moose, that the good thing about Tokyo is that most of the time, whoever's organising that race will put the rain on, and then of course it's anyone's race, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you recall, the first time I had an issue at Tokyo with rain, I was in your event and I forgot to buy rain tires.
That's true. That's your fault.
Yep. So I don't think since that day I've liked Tokyo.
Well, it sounds like you've avenged your nightmares, Moose. Yeah, it was. I was going to ask you one other question. Actually, was it your strategy all along to be on the wet tires for the whole of the race?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I knew Enders would be fast at the end. In practice, most of the time, it was drying up about lap 10, and today it was dry around lap 8. I seen some people went to, I think, racing hard at lap 8, so I knew that I was going to have a lot of wear at the end. But yeah, for me, I wasn't losing enough time to go to the racing hard because my pace on the racing hard wasn't making up the difference for the pit stop. So
Mm.
I knew that my best option was to stay on inners, save that 16, 17 seconds for the pit stop, and just try to stay consistent and stay off the wall.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, it definitely worked a treat for you, Moose. So congratulations for the race win there. TK, your thoughts and questions?
Yeah, Moose, excellent job, man. That was that was so exciting. That was so exciting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your lobby was the lobby I actually got to practice in and watch earlier in the week. And when I had made references to pitting and going off the racing line, it was actually watching you pit at one point to hards and then shortly after go into the wall because you went off the racing line. So glad you were able to figure out that strategy. Tell me, how close were you to running out of fuel there at the end? Because it looked real close.
No, I did run out of fuel. Yeah,
You did.
no practice that I probably ran 4 or 5 practice races, never ran out of fuel. And I didn't even consider it, but I was working together with Uber and even Famora for a couple laps. We were running like 185 down the back straight, and you're only doing like 180 on your own pace. So I didn't even consider the extra fuel. I looked down, it said 0.1. I think it was 1 point, right at 1 second, and I ran out of fuel. And then it was like 0.7 or 0.8 at the very end. But yeah, I ran out of fuel.
Wow. That's fantastic. Way to take it to the end.
I coasted. I didn't even, honestly, it wasn't even like I didn't even look at my fuel map, to be honest with you, because I had never run out of fuel. So I was just, scooting along. Next thing I know, I just see a red where my throttle's supposed to be. I'm like, oh, good, no. I'm not right here.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and lastly, Tassie, what are your thoughts after what you just heard as well?
Moose, you are a person after my own heart. Honestly, I was hearing the da-da for you as Lisa and Boku came up behind you. I had no idea that she ran out of fuel for race. And speaking of forgetting to buy tires, I think you can agree with me that adding the cart into the lobbies is probably the best feature we have gotten from digital in a long time. Man, great race. I don't even have anything to say to you except that that was almost perfection. I mean, you killed it. No stop, did what you had to do. Had a little bit of battling there, of course, with Super Uba, but then Uba lost out and you just put your head down and stayed up front. Congratulations, you deserve it.
Yeah, well, I dropped back early because I was on inners, and then I knew Uber started 10th. And once I seen him, I was like, I knew he was 14th in points going into today, or right on the line. So I was like, I'm good. I'm just going to work with him. My plan was to work with Uber the entire race and try to. Once I seen how fast we were going, I was like, and I seen those guys have that because we went around that wreck together. I was like, man, we can get this 1-2 for sure. And man, he started pulling away. I got a little more conservative because the tires, I felt them fading away, and he was still pushing, and then he ended up in the wall, and I was like, there's nothing I could do because those guys are already down in the 150s. Lisa was, so I was like, man, I can't wait up. I gotta go because these points still count for position, and I thought he would be all right. I was hoping he'd get third, but 4th place, running 4 laps on damage is still really good.
Yeah, man, he did that. You did that. Proud of y'all.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, Moose, I have to second that. Yeah, definitely proud of you, mate. Particularly, I know you pretty well, Moose. I know you've never liked this circuit. You was cursing in last week's broadcast as well.
McNaughty, I'm telling you, McNaughty does it to me on purpose. If I were to move to Friday, he would move it to Friday next year. I promise you that.
It's your favorite now. Just say that. Just claim it.
Rumor is going to be the normal way round for the final.
Yes, right.
But no, honestly, Moose, no, it was a fantastic performance from you. I've just worked out your points as well. You're on 62 points going into the final. I think that probably qualifies you certainly top 2, I think. So
I think I'm right behind Wid. Me and Wid both have 2 wins, so I'll take it. P2, anything top 5, I was happy with. So we're right there. We'll do the best we can in the finals and see what happens.
Indeed. Yeah. Fantastic from you, Moose. Go and relax and have a beer or something, and obviously watch out in the final part of the broadcast as well, and we'll see where we put you for in 2 weeks' time for the Division A final.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Moose. Take care.
Show us the
Well, I think production probably want a short break and definitely work out all the ins and outs of the standings and so forth. So again, congratulations to the top 3 drivers and hopefully everyone that has made it for the final. Definitely don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly to see who qualifies for Division A and B final, as well as where they're going and what they'll be racing. Welcome back, everyone, and hopefully you're fueled up and ready to go, because we've got some important information to show and talk about. Firstly, we're going to talk about the driver standings overall for Division B and A. And firstly, we'll go on to Division B overall from the top 14 of both Friday and Saturday divisions combined, starting off from the bottom up to the top. TKs, can you read us through Division B standings, please?
Absolutely. And we'll start from the back. Tied for #last, P27, we have RWB, Buck Wild, and Sweet Lou Sanus with no points. Then 26, P Rosal with 1 point. 25th, we have PHG Fenrir with 6 points. 24th, MD Hop with 8 points. 23rd, PHG Horn of Plenty with 10 points. P21, BHR Johnny Boy with 11 points, actually tied with Stumpy for P21, also with 11 points. Then we have Redneck C137 in P20 with 12 points. Then we have a tie for P18, RSR Zilla and PHG Skellington with 13 points. P17, PHG Captain Thunder with 14 points. Luis in P16 with 15 points. Jay Senior, as we learned, P15 just outside with 16 points. Oh, and so close, 1 point away. Racecraft making the cut, P14 with 17 points. P13, PHG Salamander with 20 points. Their performance last night really helped them out. P12, PHG Bells with 21 points. P11, Rowdy Rooster with 22 points. PHG Papa in P10 with 23 points. Angry Fredbird, P9 with 24 points. RTS Bandit, 25 points, getting them into P8. Then we have Mr. Sugar Shuffles in P7 with 26 points. Deputy Fishtail in P6 with 33 points. Parquet tied for 4th with Racer 51, both having 48 points. Then we have PHG Lead Pencil with 51 points in P3. P2 is Thumpy with 56 points. And then a commanding lead, Mr. Cyrus Nicky with 62 points, going to have our pole position.
Awesome stuff, TKs. And Tessie, if you can read us through the Division A standings overall across the 2 days, starting from 28th position, please.
Yes, sir. Starting backwards. With 0 points, we got RWB Nav in 28th place. Island Grown and Spawn both have 1 point for 26th place. Another two-way tie between BHR Palias Pango and PHG Jazam with 2 points for 24th. Dark, more ties. Okay, three-way tie for 21st. We've got Dark and Azrael, Aero US, and PX Varia all with 4 points. Andos in 20th with 6 points. PSG Caper in 19th with 12. PSG Shaggy Doo in 18th with 13 points. MK has 14 points for 17th place. PSG SPC in 16th with 16 points. Belmora in 15th with 17 points. In 14th, we've got GLK Sneaky, who's got 21 points. PSG Banana has 24 points for 13th. MMR Super Uba, 25 points for 12th. Laka La Cabra, 809 in 11th with 26 points. Velvet Thunder in 10th, that's a good name. Velvet Thunder in 10th with 27 points. Then we got a tie for 8th place. Are we missing a 9? Am I missing something? It's a two-way tie for 8th. Okay, Boku and Purple Perp with 33 points. Talon is in 7th with 35. Chief Apollo in 6th place with 37 points. The Truth in 5th with 38 points. The Kai in 4th place with 41. Lisa Salters in 3rd with 47 points. MMR Moose in 2nd with a whopping 62 points. And then Wid way up there in 1st place with 66 points.
And Sneaky just snuck in there, didn't he? Into the
He really
top 40.
did.
Indeed he did. That was very interesting to say, and just something I forgot to mention as well. This is provisionally. There will be some stewards inquiries going on in the background in the next couple of days, so things could change, but so far that is how it's going. We have got a super chat from Mr. Rob G. Barker of £2. I can't see the message. I found it. Yeah, it's now we're talking. Let's go teams B&D and MMR. Yeah, of course, Rob G. Barker owns the Bib and Dribble and is very much a part of the Moose Mafia racing team as well. Thank you so much for that kind donation, Rob G. It goes a long way in NRL, and we thank you very, very much. So, yes, we've gone through the standings. So what will the drivers be facing in 2 weeks' time in the grand finale, starting from Division B? And we are off to Mount Panorama in Australia. It is a 1 hour race in the Group 3 cars. The Group 3 selection is BMW M6, the Lexus RCF, and the Genesis X car. How this works is it's a... Oh, no, you just get to choose from them three. So I got my wires crossed there. So it's between the BMW M6, the Lexus RCF, and the Genesis X Group 3 cars. It's going to start off with a grid start with full start check ahead of a 1 hour race here at the Mount Panorama Bathurst race circuit with BOP turned on. Brake bias is allowed in this one. Mechanical damage always set to heavy, but we've got a tyre wear rate of ×3 and a fuel consumption rate at ×2 with all 3 racing compounds available for the drivers. None of them are required, so there's going to be a lot of strategy ahead of this race. But what are your thoughts, T-Case?
Woo! These cars are a handful. This track is a handful. This takes us back to the inaugural NRL qualifying, which was at Mount Panorama in Group 3. These are all FR cars, all 3 tires available. So we're going to have a host of strategies. You know, what are you going to do? You're going to use one, you're going to use all 3. It's anybody's game. Good thing they have 2 weeks to practice, because they're going to need it.
Indeed, yeah, they are indeed. Tassie, what are your thoughts on this race combo? And do you think it's going to be a bit of a difficult one for the drivers?
Hello. I love Mount Panorama. Love the fact that there's going to be 3 different cars to choose from. Hopefully it doesn't become a one make as people test and figure out which one's the fastest. Mount Panorama is such a good track. Such good racing happens around here. So a full hour here in GR3s and no required tires. All 3 tires in play. Oh, I cannot wait. Why is it 2 weeks? Wow.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I do love Bathurst, and yeah, this is certainly a dynamic that I've never seen in the NRL. That is for certain. A choice of cars. I really look forward to seeing what cars the drivers prefer, and yeah, there is all types of strategy that is going to go off here at Bathurst as well as trying to keep it away from the walls, heavy damage. Yeah, I can't wait for this one. But we also have a small matter of finding out what is in store for the grand finale for Division A. So let's take a look. And we are at Interlagos in Brazil. And we are going to be using Group 3 machinery ahead of a 38-lap race here at Interlagos. Now I can get my point across. So basically, there is going to be a reverse draft, meaning that P14 will have first selection of car, and no more than 2 drivers will have the same car. So this is certainly going to be interesting, because we're going to have 14 different types of Group 3 machinery out there on circuit. So it's almost like a first come, first serve basis on what car that they will want to pick. As usual, it's a grid start with full start check ahead of this 38 lap race here at Interlagos, with BOP turned on and natural frequency and brake bias as your setup tinkering, if that's a word there. Mechanical damage set to heavy with tyre wear rate at ×3 and the fuel consumption rate at ×2. All 3 racing compounds are available, but they're also required as well. So again, a very, very interesting combo. What are your thoughts, Tati?
Difficulty setting at max. I'm here for it. Any car. Oh man, wait, when do they choose their car? Do we have a date for when you have to turn in, like, or declare? Okay, production hasn't announced it and they told me, can I say that out loud? Okay, Thursday. You gotta know by Thursday which car you're going to take at Interlagos. Sorry, Saturday. It's okay, no problem. I love it. I'm very excited. Interlagos is not one of my strongest tracks, but I think it makes good racing. So, I mean, it does matter what car you take here. So we're going to see how this works out.
Yeah, TKs, what are your thoughts?
This is one of my favorite tracks, especially in Group 3. This was actually a daily race A recently, and I just absolutely ate it up. This is a hard one to get all 3 sectors right. You see some people have a really strong first and second sector, or first and third sector, but a tough middle sector, and vice versa. And the fact that all tires are required, so guaranteed 2 stops. We might see more than 2 stops. We're going to see a grid full of different cars, which is always fun to see. So I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be getting into these practice lobbies and seeing what I can do with these top tier drivers.
Yeah, indeed, and I have to second that. I absolutely love Interlagos, and just the fact that from reverse draft, so almost like if you know when it comes to balance of power, what are the stronger of the cars, then certainly it's going to be a bit more of an advantage for the drivers at the back of the grid to pick their favorite cars. So it's going to be interesting to see what, say, for example, Wid or Moose at the top of the grid, what cars they will be left with. Certainly, I think under the new physics system and the new balance of power as well, you know, cars like your Lamborghinis are actually going to be very strong here now, Audi as well, but the car that we got there, the Mercedes, also very, very strong. But like I say, yeah, I guess it's partly to do with personal choice and also the balance of power as well. But yeah, can't wait for that. That is going to be in 2 weeks time, guys. So I don't know if that graphic is going to come up for us, but there you go. Don't miss the finals in 2 weeks time. It's going to be hosted by myself, by Tassie, by TK. So we also got Slow-Mo, Leo, and okay, well, we don't know exactly, but we're hoping that maybe Leo, Slow-Mo, and also Toon will be present in the finals on Saturday, the 9th of November at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So as always, guys, go to youtube.com/@McNaughty for all the drama through Division B and Division A in the grand finale, where we will see who will be crowned a champion of season 4. And let me just tell you as well, it will be a brand new champion in season 4 at that as well. Can't wait.
Sean Z in the comments said about the Interlagos race, grid start, mixed tires, turn 1. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah. That's gonna be something.
Something else I just thought of there is, so Division B is a 1 hour race. So you don't know exactly how many laps you're going to have. You're going to have an idea, but you don't know how many laps exactly. And that's going to come into play with fuel management and tire management. Whereas Division A knows exactly how many laps they have to do, and that'll help them prepare differently between the two divisions. So that's something I think is really cool to see between the two divisions having to come up with different styles of strategy.
Very true.
Yeah, indeed. Before we end things, I've got to quickly ask you, driver of the day. Tati, who is your driver of the day?
Oh man. Oh shoot. Get me.
I
Go to
caught you out
PK
there.
first.
TK, do you want to fill in?
I'm going with Moose. They did something different to what the people who were trying to win that race were doing, and it paid off. It was a gamble. It was a risk. He ran out of fuel, but he got it done. So shout out to Moose.
Fair play. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, he tried something different. It was a track he didn't like, and it really made it work. So fair play to Moose. Have you thought about who might be your driver of the day, Tati, or are you still stuck?
No, you know what? If TK's has got Moose, I say that's a great candidate. I'm gonna go ahead and say Lead Pencil because again, missed round 2, came back and was like, "Oh, y'all thought I wasn't gonna dominate again." Did exactly what they needed to do. 2 fantastic drivers, 2 winners. Way to go!
Yeah, and he really did dominate. He dominated that race. So
Yep.
yeah, Lead, that was fantastic.
Damn, you took my choice there, Tati. But I will probably say, actually, I would say 2 drivers in Parquet and Cyrus Nicky, because again, for the 3rd race running, left it to the very end to decide who was going to finish it in front of each other. They certainly don't disappoint. Hopefully, they won't disappoint in a couple of weeks' time. That has been a very emotional and very intense day in the final races of the Saturday division of both Division A and B. As I said, guys, please do tune in 2 weeks' time on Saturday, November the 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern time for all the racing action as we do find out who will be crowned champion of Season 4. So ahead of this fantastic day of racing, it's a goodbye from me, Flawed Genius Gaming, and a goodbye from Tati.
Oh.
A goodbye from T-Case.
Later, y'all.
And a big goodbye from me. Take care. God bless you all. See you in 2 weeks.